Omar, question. In your book, it says that if you sell your lease to another dealer, you have to buy the car first. That means I have to write my current bank check. Nope. That's actually our plan A. That's not our plan A for selling our lease. If you have what most people do who are trying to get their lease equity, if you don't know you could sell a lease, if you didn't know you could sell a lease type of one, this is going to be relevant to you. We've sold leases for the last couple of years. You've always been able to sell them, but the last couple of years, it's been, there's a lot of money made. And when banks saw people making a lot of money selling their leases, $5, $7, $10,000, some of them implemented a third-party restriction, and that they limited who you can sell to. So they started letting. So then what you saw was a lot of people started buying their leases and reselling them. I don't like when you buy your lease and resell it, because you're going to pay taxes on the purchase and you're going to pay fees on the purchase, and then that's coming out of your profit. So I don't teach that. In the book, Omar, continue reading or just read that section over. It's a lot of money involved in that section. When we have a third-party restriction, we're getting bids from a local dealer. We're talking to used car dealers. I have a script in there of what to say. We're selling our car to a local used car dealer. And if there's more money to be made buying and reselling, then you can do that. But oftentimes, because dealers most times don't need to pay the taxes, the dealer payoff is lower usually than the customer payoff, which means you can sell direct to a dealer and put more money in your pocket, but you must get bids. And that's what I teach. So just read that section carefully, Omar. All right, come on in. Could everybody hit the share button who is into sharing? If you're into sharing, if you share great information, if you're into financial literacy, if you believe that people should be able to, have the information to make the best decisions for themselves, then hit that share button. I appreciate all the sharers. I cannot do this. We can't do this mission without the sharers. Thank y'all. All right, let's go. I see Instagram. Let's go. Want to trade my car, which I still owe money on, and I want to lease now. That's going to be very common. Many of you are going to find out as you find out you will, unfortunately, many of you were just programmed never to lease. You were programmed that leasing was bad. And when you find out the math and how much that's cost you, the first thing you're going to want to do is get out of your finance and go into a lease. So you need to call your bank. In my book, I call this the equity assessment. This is step 2. After you decide, now you've already done step 1, which is great. Step 1 is deciding, should I buy or lease? Asking yourself the most important question: how many years am I keeping this car? To decide, are we going to go for our long-term purchase where we can avoid the depreciation in the long term, or are we going to go for a short-term lease to avoid the depreciation hit? Once you answer that question, that's step 1. Now we move on to step 2, which is our equity assessment. That's when we have to look at the current car we have, and we have to find out what our position is in it. Are we in a negative position? Are we in a positive equity position? So you're going to call your bank, find out what your payoff is, get your payoff. Don't look at your residual value on your contract. Don't look at, whatever your statement is. If you're going, you can do this with a finance, you can do this with a lease. The equity assessment process starts the same way. You call, you get a payoff, you find out what you owe, and then you're going to go to the online bidding, to the online car buyers, and you're going to get offers so that you can find out relative to what you owe, how much is the market value of your vehicle. And the market value is based on how much someone's willing to pay you for the car. It's not based on what an algorithm site says. It's based on, I got 6, 7, 8 cash offers, which is when you follow this process, that's what you're going to get. And you take the highest one, and then you look at what you owe. And if the highest offer is greater than your payoff, that's called equity. If the highest offer is lower than your payoff, that's negative equity. In which case you have to go with a different plan with negative equity. And some of you are going to have negative equity. You're still going to want to transfer that to a lease. But you need to know how much negative equity you have. So you must complete the equity assessment first, then we move on. Pete, how much normally is a good amount to put down? So when we look at putting money down, it's all payment management. If I'm financing a car and my goal is to pay off the car as quick as possible because I'm keeping it for, 8, 10, 12, 15 years, then I'm going to put as much money as I can down. But it goes back to what we talked about in the last segment. If y'all were here in the last segment, you remember we talked about what you're doing with your money. So let's say a person is using them, you got your money invested, you're getting returns on your money, 8, 10, 12%. Then if you have a low interest rate, you might want to ride that out. So there's 3 ways to go. You're either going to say, all right, I'm not really interested in getting investing my money. I'm not getting a lot on my money. Most of my money is either in the bank or in savings, and that's what I do. In which case you might say, I want to pay off this car as quick as possible, and then I want to just have no car payment. So I'll put more money down in that scenario. In a second scenario, you're investing your money and you say, okay, I'm going to leverage, I'm going to use the bank's money at a very low interest rate if it's available, 2-3%, 0%, 0.99%. I'm going to use this money, let my money make more money for me, and then I'm going to put as little as possible down. And then the third case is when you say, okay, well, the third case is probably going to cash or a lease scenario, but that's how you would compare it. It depends on your personal choices, what you're doing with your money, and if you're not into investing and making a lot of money on your money, then you probably want to get that car paid off as quick as possible. In which case, put as much as you could afford to put down so that the loan's out of the way as soon as possible. But it's all personal. All right. I see from IG. Is it a way to get a lease without a down payment? Look, are you kidding me? And that's not an insult to your question. That's just, this is all we do. I know you might have looked at these questions and you said, you might have looked at these lease deals online and you see all of these deals that say, hey, put 3,000 down or the $32.99 do it lease signing. Listen, the lease is custom. You choose the mileage. You choose the structure. So the way we shop, this is all in my book and this is all in my free videos. So as you go through all my free videos, y'all gonna hear all of these things match. Whether you on these lives with me, whether you watching my videos, could we keep hitting the likes on TikTok? Let's shoot the likes up even more. Appreciate y'all. Whether you're looking at the free videos, whether you're on a live or whether you're in the book, you're gonna see they're all the same. So when the way we shop for a lease is we are picking our car and we're going to get our offers with only first month payment out of pocket, 12,000 miles per year. If anyone tells you they can't do that, they're lying to you. Straight up, they are lying to you. And that's why we never put our faith in one dealer. In my book, I have something called the 25-to-5 strategy, where we're connecting with 25 local dealers online in 20 minutes. I know it sounds crazy, but when you got a computer and you know where to go and what to say, and you're using copy and paste messages, you're just letting them know. I'm gonna let 25 dealers know in 20 minutes what I'm looking for, because out of that 25 dealers, maybe 10, 12 are gonna have a car that I'm interested in, depending on the car, maybe 10, 12. And then out of that, I'm looking to get 5 to 7 offers. So it's 25-to-5, 25 connections, 5 offers. And until you start doing this, until you start looking at 5 offers, y'all, you're not going to see how overpriced some dealers are. When you start looking at 5 offers, you're going to see how overpriced some dealers are. And because about 80% from what we see, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people around the country, over 1,600 people now in my private group, there is 80% of dealers are going to take a shot at you to the tune of thousands and thousands, but 20% of dealers are going to be the best. They're going to be honest. They're going to make shopping from home easy. They're going to try to beat their competition. And that's the people that we end up purchasing from or leasing from. Is it better to lease or buy when using for a business? It depends on the type of business. The only business that I say it's not better to lease. See, leasing is for people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. Very simple. It's called the 8-year rule. And when you see that what it's about is avoiding the depreciation hit. When you're buying a car, your biggest expense by far is depreciation. If you buy a car today for $30,000, brand new car, what's that car worth in 5 years, y'all? Throw some numbers out there. If you buy a car today, $30,000, brand new car, what's that car going to be worth in 5 years? Throw some numbers out there. Thanks, Ed. I see you, man. Appreciate you. Look, let's see what people come in at. Hold on, hold the question, Dolan. Now I got my man Dolan working in the background so we can see everybody's question. But hold on, let's go deep on this. It's not going to be worth 17. If you could buy a car for 30,000 and then it's worth 17 in 5 years, that's not going to happen. So let's just and 22. See. All right, this is a deeper problem. Let me hit on this, y'all. Let me hit on this. This is a big problem. All right. Some of you let the last 3 years fool you. And this happened to car dealers too. There are still car dealers out there that think this is pandemic, and they're trying their best to hold on to what was. I used to, during the pandemic, some car salesman said, man, somebody will walk in, I tell them they got to pay $8,000 over sticker, and I got it. I could get them to pay that. They're still trying to hold on to that. They don't realize that over a year ago, their competition started adjusting and started really doing, well, their competition was doing deals from the get-go. So that's them. But let me talk to you. If you bought a car in 2018, 17, 16, 19, 20, early 2020, you could have sold that car and actually either made money. In fact, most people made money. That's gone. Don't let that get you thinking that there is that you can buy a car and flip a car or break even on a car. That was a once in a lifetime opportunity based on limited inventory, based on a global pandemic, based on a microchip shortage, based on an industry that usually puts 60 million cars a year through the transaction. They didn't have it, and so everything went up $7,000 to $15,000. Everything. Some of you cashed out. If you cashed out during that time, those last 3 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, if you cashed out, you sold something and you made a bunch of money, type a $sign. Just type $sign so we can actually see. Because some of you, I was talking to you back then and you cashed out through my advice, and some of you, you just found out on your own, or you found out through somewhere else, and you ended up cashing out and making a bunch of money. If that's you, put $signs. But that is over. The times we had people buying cars in 2019, overpaying for them, or buying cars and coming back and flipping them and making money on them. You try that now, you're going to lose your shirt. It's over. So I'm here to tell you that the normal depreciation on a car is a 20% loss the first year. 20% loss the first year. So if you pay 30 grand for a car, that car is worth 80% of 30 grand after a year with normal driving. If you're a high mileage driver, it's worth even less than that. If you're a low mileage driver, very low, it's worth a little more than that. But that's standard, 20% going. Second year, you're going to lose probably another 15%. Third year, you're probably going to lose about 12.5%. Probably lose another 12.5% the next year. Then you'll lose 10%. And that's the depreciation curve. That's where we are. So when I asked y'all 3-4 minutes ago, if we bought a $30,000 car, what it would be worth today, the answer is what it would be worth after 5 years. The answer is probably going to be about 12 grand. The answer is probably going to be about 12 grand. And we've gotten so far, I had to go deep on that subject, so I kind of forgot what the original question was and how we got on it. But the name of the game is avoiding depreciation. That was how we got on it. So if you don't know, that's your biggest expense. Your biggest expense is not maintenance. It's depreciation. You're losing thousands and thousands of dollars in depreciation. So when you're deciding, should I lease or purchase? When I tell you the answer is 8 years, if you're not keeping your next car 8 years, you should be leasing it, because if you get a great lease deal, you can't get a regular lease deal. You must get a great lease deal that comes through multiple offers. Then you're going to avoid those big depreciation losses that these owners are taking. Now, at the same time, if you're buying your car to keep 8 years, you should be purchasing it, because once that depreciation levels out, remember what I said, you lose this percent the first year, this percent the second year, but every year later, it starts to get smaller and smaller. Eventually, you're only losing like 5% on the car, and that's the time where you want to keep it. That's when you won. That's the reward. That's where you're like, okay, now I'm winning based on my purchase. Okay, so whenever you're looking at leasing versus purchase, it's a long term. You got to look down the road, and you must ask yourself, how long am I going to keep this car? All right, let's go. Dolan, next question. Dolan pulling questions in from every platform. Should lease rates increase depending on yearly mileage allotment? So we always shop with 12,000 miles per year. Find your best deal. Shop multiple offers. The way I just laid out in the beginning of the show, I gave you the structure on how we shop offers. If you missed it, watch the replay. Once you get multiple offers, you get 5 to 7 offers. Pick your best one, and then you adjust the mileage. Because you want to adjust your mileage once you know you're dealing with an honest dealer. Once you know a dealer has won the bid, they're not going to try to put extra, like if the mileage to go from 12,000 to 15 is $25 a month more. You know, an honest dealer will mark it up $25. You don't have an honest dealer, they'll mark it up $35. They'll mark it up $32. Everything will have a little cushion in there and you don't want that, because cushion is built-in profit that, you know, they're not going to disclose. So once you do that, yeah, you pay for additional mileage, but you don't adjust your mileage until you actually find your deal. And yeah, you pay for mileage because you pay for usage. But then again, when you have a great lease, like I'm gonna show y'all a couple great leases throughout the show, people who are getting, I mean, ridiculous deals right now. And y'all see, to add a little more mileage to these leases the payment is still pennies. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Dolan. But you got to shop first and then you adjust. All right, YouTube, looking to buy Forerunner, but they have a $1,500 BS protection package. Okay, they is one dealer. It's not Toyota. Toyota's Forerunner. This gentleman shopping for a Toyota Forerunner, y'all. The dealer that you went to has a $1,500 BS fee. That's why we don't shop and put our faith in one dealer. You know how many Forerunners there are the way you saw them? I don't care what car you're looking at. You could be looking at the most rare G-Wagon. There's at least a couple more in the country. So when it comes to something like a Forerunner, there's thousands of them. No matter what color, you might say, yeah, but I like this color. There's thousands of them, thousands. That's a mass-produced vehicle. So you have to have that in your mind. If you start looking at it like, oh, it's only one of these, oh, they got you, because they're going to make you think that's the only one. And you're not going to see that there's other ones that not only may they not have the BS fees, they actually may be lower priced. And that's what you need to be seeing. We go about 100 miles out when we start our used car sales. In my book, in day 5, I have something called the multiple marketplace strategy. I laid out the 25 to 5 strategy. That's how you shop for new cars and leases. That's a different strategy. When we're shopping for pre-owned cars, we're using the multiple marketplace strategy. Can y'all keep shooting? Can y'all keep tapping the screen? Everybody on TikTok, we got a couple hundred people. This is crazy. Could y'all just keep tapping the screen, shoot the likes up? Let's keep grabbing attention over here on TikTok. Appreciate all of y'all. But when you're shopping for a pre-owned car, we're using the multiple marketplace strategy, where we're looking at every website that has used cars. Some of you may think Car Gurus is the same as cars.com, the same as Auto Trader. They're not. These companies have different contracts, different dealerships, different places that they advertise inventory for. And not only are you shopping those marketplaces, you're shopping the Carvanas, you're shopping the CarMaxes, because occasionally, sometimes they'll have the best price on a particular vehicle. You never know what they're going to do. So if you're not shopping them and looking at all the used car inventory, you are going to miss the lowest price in the market. But once that happens, you'll find a car, and you always verify fees before you leave your house. You never get to a dealership and have fees pop up on you that you didn't know about. That means you didn't give a call and find out the bogus fees beforehand, in which case you let somebody waste your time. So you can't negotiate. That's why I got a video. Some of you may have seen it. We don't negotiate with fake fees. We don't do it. We don't do it. It's a losing battle. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's keep it rolling. I'm trying to get through as many as we can today. I want to go through as many questions as fast as possible. How do I know how much equity I have on my lease? It's a very common question, y'all. I mean, we're kind of getting a similar question asked in a different way. Call your bank, find out what you owe, what your payoff is. Go to the marketplaces that I mentioned earlier to get offers. CarMax, Vroom, Vroom's out of business, sorry. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus, Sell My Car. That'll get you about 6 offers. Now, whenever you're using those websites, you'll get to a part where it says, is the vehicle owned, leased, or financed? Just put owned, because their websites have something built in where they say they can't buy leases, because they out of all the leasing companies, some have third-party restrictions and some don't. But their websites are not set up to see who has third-party restrictions. They just kind of blocked it, because I'm sure they had thousands and thousands of people, when everybody was making all of this money, calling them saying, "Oh, I want to sell my car to you." And then they looked at the contract and said, "Oh, we can't buy it." So they basically just put a block on their website. But if you don't have a third-party restriction, and there are several leasing companies still that don't have a third-party restriction, meaning you can sell to anyone, but if you do have a third-party restriction, we take those offers that we got from those online car buyers, then we call a local car dealership, we call a local brand, and we speak to the used car manager, and we get a couple offers from used car managers, and we sell direct to them. And we avoid any fees. We don't buy and resell. I can't think of one person, you can leave that up, Dolan, I'll get right to it. You can leave that up. I can't think of one person that has learned from me that actually bought their lease and resold it. It's just, you're losing thousands of dollars in taxes and fees. It's just not worth doing when you can sell direct to a dealer. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Let's keep it rolling. I'm loving this. Thank you. Could everybody tag a friend? Everybody's not going to tag a friend, but if you are somebody who tagged, I'm telling you, your friends will be upset if they find out that they went and bought a car a couple months down the road and they end up overpaying for it, which most people are, and they find me later and you didn't share it, and they like, yo, why didn't you share that guy? Yeah, I've been following Deshone for years. You didn't share his stuff with me. So don't be that. You don't want to have that. It's an awkward conversation. You might as well just tag a friend, think about somebody who you love, and share this wisdom with them. Let's get everybody saving money. All right, we can't find a lease for less than $500 a month. Every time we turn a car in, they increase the lease amount. We love Jeep, but we are now trying to, but they're calling us, telling us the interest rate is high. We have 12,000 miles left. So, I mean, if you can't get a Jeep, so this was somebody that got a Jeep in our private group. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go to my let's see, who got a Jeep? I gotta label these different. No, I gotta label these different. Ooh. Jeeps have incredible deals if you know how to shop. Anybody who's interested in leasing a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which kind of Jeep is it, Liz? If it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee, let me see if I can find this. See if I can find this person, because I know that deal was ridiculous. Hold on. I just want to tell you how the difference in shopping and getting multiple offers, because if you already have them calling you and telling you that every time you see, I know that scenario where she just said every time we release from them, the price goes up. That means she's buying and leasing from the same dealer. So in most cases, when you're leasing from the same dealer, every single time you get a deal from them, they're going to bump the payment up a little bit. Very rarely is it going to go down, because they've conditioned you for it to go up a little bit every single time. Now, in the case of the pandemic, they had people jumping up $150 a month. But when it comes to Jeep, hold on. What kind of Jeep? Is it a Grand Cherokee or a Wrangler? I know I have somebody in my group that just got a Jeep for it. They saved like $7,000. And that was on a limited. That was on like a $59,000 Jeep. Oh, that's right. I text my friend the deal because she was shopping for a Jeep, and I text her the deal. So let me actually see. Here we go. All right, here we go. That's right. Okay. She got a $45,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. If y'all can't see this, this is Raphael. She got a $45,000. Now, I don't know how you're equipping your Jeep, but hers is $45,925. She's paying $549 a month, and that's all the money she gave them. She put $540, she gave them $549, and she drove off. So if you are somebody who says, all right, that deal is ridiculous, I'm gonna put down $1,500 more, drop my payment to like probably about $1,500 more out of pocket, will drop that payment to probably $498. And or you might say, Deshone, I don't even need the limited. I see she got the blacked out one. I don't need all of that. I'll take one that's a little less than that. But this was last month. So, I mean, you must shop offers on these cars. You must shop multiple offers. You must get at least 5 quotes from 5 unrelated dealers, because one thing that will surprise you is Raphael had offers for $600, $700. I remember I helped the lady Christina. She was in our group a year ago, and her best offer, she got like a $52,000 Jeep, white with the black top. and it was like $606 a month. But her highest offer she got from a dealer was like $1,100. So she had some for $1,100. She had some for like $899 or something, and then her best one was $606. So oftentimes, what you think is overpriced is just that one dealer you're dealing with that's trying to take a shot at you. That's why multiple offers from home is the way to go. This is what's in my book. This is what I teach in my videos. If you guys want to have it right in one spot with all my scripts, everything, I don't even want you talking. I really want you typing, because when you talk, you can say something wrong. If you type, you can't mess up. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. If you type, you can't mess up. So 75% off. I just put the book out. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. If you hate car shopping, type hate. Type I hate it. All right. And we're already rated 5 stars on Goodreads. And I want y'all to have everything I teach in one spot. That way you don't have to go through all my videos trying to see which one's for me and which one's for leasing and which one's for selling my lease. And oh, this one's for a used car. I don't need that. That's you can do that. You can certainly do that. The information's there. But if you want it all in one spot, get your book for 75% off in my TikTok bio, or go to my Instagram bio, click that link, and then click the button that says 75% off, or go to deshonsbook.com. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Yep, you good, Dolan. I want to buy a certified pre-owned car. I want a safe, reliable car. What do you recommend? I'm thinking Subaru. Okay, so when we're trying to find what car we want, get an idea of it, and then we do a research. We do our check. We check to see reliability. There's 3 terms that you got to be familiar with. 2 are going to apply to you if you're a short-term person, which means you're leasing, you're not keeping your cars 8 years, and 2 are going to be important to you if you're a purchaser, if you're buying a car to keep 8, 9, 10 years. If you're leasing, the 2 important terms are initial quality. Initial quality is, what does the data say about this car its first 90 days? The first 90 days the car was in production. Now, the way we do an initial quality check, this we do right before we go and get offers on a car, because we never get offers on a car until we find out if it's a good car. You don't want to be getting offers and then you get a great deal. Now you decide to check to see if it's a good car and you're like, oh, it has electrical problem. No. So this is one of the last steps we do. We do this in step 4 of my process. It's a 7-step process. Step 4 is shopping, not buying. That's our research. That's our test drives. That's our making sure the car is good. So you type in the name of the car, the year, always put the year, 2024 Subaru Impreza, initial quality. Type that into Google and you look at the first page. If there's any red flags, you'll see it. Skim those first couple articles. It shouldn't take you more than 3 minutes. You'll see, oh, click on this. Reliability score is a 70 out of 100. I might pass on that. Initial quality, rather, is a 7 out of 100. We don't want to see anything that gives us concern. Now, once it passes initial quality, now you type in 2024 Subaru Impreza reliability. So initial quality is your first 3 months of the vehicle's lifespan from the time it's new. Reliability is the first 3 years. So if that car is in the shop every couple months or once a year, or for the same issue, if it's having a misfire in the engine, you'll see it in the reliability ratings. For somebody like you, Tina, you want to look at both the reliability, and then you want to type in 2024, whatever year you're buying, 2021 Subaru Impreza longevity, and you want to do the same thing. You'll see if the transmission's known to go, it'll tell you right up top. These cars are known to last 150 to 200,000 miles, 200,000 to 300,000 miles. These cars, many owners report transmission issues around 80,000 miles. That quick 5-minute check will avoid thousands and thousands of dollars in bills and headaches. Thank you, Blood. Said you looking younger. I appreciate it. So that's how you do. But also, don't think you got to buy it. You can keep that up, Dolan. All right, we're pulling questions from everywhere. Instagram, TikTok. So make sure y'all are typing your questions. We're on 4 platforms. And I got my man Dolan pulling the questions in. Don't think that a certified pre-owned car is better than a non-certified car with a good history. A good history, non-certified, could be better than a car that's certified without the history. See, I'd rather a non-certified car with a great title, which means it's not a salvage title, it's not a rental, it's not a, funny title. Great service records, which means I can see that the previous owner or owners regularly took care of the car. That's the biggest indicator that car was taken care of, is service records. And then a good accident report. I take that over a certified car. When I pull the Carfax, I don't see many service records. So don't think because you're getting a certified car, if you don't do your due diligence, you could still lose. You want to look for those three things: title, service records, accident history. That's the biggest indicators. It's no guarantees, but those are the indicators. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Can you explain the worksheet on the multiple marketplace strategy? I signed up for the 5 sites, but confused when there are multiple cars on each site. If I pick high and low on each site, the sheet will have like 50 cars. Correct. I'm looking to actually narrow down. First thing we do. So this is somebody who obviously has my book, and she's asking about this strategy. So look, when we're looking at used cars, we're on every marketplace. So I want you to think about like Amazon.com, Walmart.com. Let's replace the car with a TV. It's no way, if you're looking for a TV and you're trying to get your best deal and pay the lowest price, you're not going to check all the online websites. Now, some people might check only Amazon. Though that's not as good as checking Amazon and checking Walmart.com and checking BestBuy.com. See, I know Best Buy is overpriced most of the time. You get what I'm saying? But that's how I feel about CarMax. But I still got to check them because they're overpriced most of the time, not all the time. And every now and then you see the one that was surprising, they'll have the best offer right there. So that's why I'm always going to check all the marketplaces: CarMax, Driveway, and then we're going to open up your Auto Trader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, at Carfax.com. There's 8 used car marketplaces. So we open them up, and now we put in our criteria. What are we looking for? Now, we don't look to buy. I don't want you buying the first day when you open those marketplaces. Here's the goal when we open the marketplaces. Who remembers what I said about market value? If you were on the last broadcast, or if you heard me talk about it, what are we interested in when it comes to market value? Who remembers? And let me see, we might have a whole fresh crowd on here. We got a couple hundred people. We got like 400 people on here between all the platforms. So I don't want to assume, but let's see if anybody has heard from any of my other broadcasts. When it comes to market value, what are we interested in? All right, we might have a whole fresh crowd. Below market value, y'all. So how do we buy below market value? First thing we need to do is see what is market value. Yep, I see you, Ronald. The first thing we need to do is see what is market value. So your goal when you open up those marketplaces, and this is what I teach you in my book. First things first, we sort all our prices high to low. We create accounts because we want to be alerted of any new inventory. Because once I know what the market value is, I know where the low side of the market is. So you might look and say, we sort all the prices, low to high, low to high, low to high. Now I can see all the low prices are around 22, 23, 20, 22, 23, 24s, but then it goes up to 25, 26, 27. That's market value, that middle. And then you got the overmarket, it's always going to be cars that are priced higher, above market value. Now, when we look at the low side, here's what we're able to say. Here's what you have to know. Be prepared for it. The low side of the market is where all the crap is. So you're going to see bad titles. You're going to see accidents. You're going to see frame damage. That's fine, because you're looking through all of that And then you're going to find that diamond, and you know what the low side of the market is. Here's what's also very important. You might see a car, you might say, I want a black car or a white or silver. You see a car that has all the boxes I talked about, which we checked: title great, service records great, accidents great. It's the wrong color though. Dang, I don't want blue. That's an indicator. I don't care if it's blue. I'm not going to buy it because it's not my color, but it's showing me where the low side of the market is. That's a deal. If somebody wanted a navy blue car, that's a daggone below market deal. So we have to find out what the market is. Then we find out where the low side of the market is. And then we have on alert so that every car that pops up, it comes to our email immediately. As soon as they list it, boom, we get the email and we know the low side of the market. So when we look at that car and we're like, oh, wait, this is $22,000 and it's my color. All right, you open it. Ah, shoot, 2 accidents. No problem. Now you get another one a couple days later. Oh, shoot. All right, black. Oh, 22.5. Good price. You open that thing. Wait, service records look great. Oh, accidents look great. Now we go to verify if there are any bogus fees. We do one more step. We pull the window sticker because I want to know what's in that car. I want to know what the original equipment what is the actual original price. Once I find that out, I got to get there and get that car. So that's how you do it. You have to. It's a narrowing down. You're looking at all this inventory. I'm going to narrow it down to the best, and then I'm going to snag my deal. And you're at home. You're not in these dealers where you're at home. Okay, and that's all in the book. All right, let's go. Oh, how do I get your book? It's in my TikTok bio. Welcome to all the new people that jumped on the broadcast. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. Click the picture of me, and then you'll see a website there. And then there, click the button. You won't leave the broadcast. So some people are like, Deshone, I don't want to get the book yet. I don't want to miss the broadcast. Well, the book is only on sale, 75% off for 30 minutes. So click the link. You won't leave. You'll still be able to hear everything we're talking about. You can come back and keep asking questions, but don't miss the 75% off. Click that website, or if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can go to deshonesbook.com, or you can scan the QR code if you're watching on TV. Go ahead, Dolan. Oh, matter of fact, let me go to TikTok because Dolan, you're not on TikTok. Can you come with me to buy a car? Not necessary, Danielle. Thank you. I appreciate it, though. Listen, that's the old way. So you think that we're somehow going back and forth with dealers and hey, I kind of need somebody. That's like when I was selling cars and people thought bringing their uncle in was going to help them. No, we don't shop like that. So you don't need any. The reason why, listen, I'm gonna share the reason why you see people like this. Well, I just showed you Raphael. How she get that deal? She's from home. See, you put yourself in a vulnerable position where you go in. Some of you, I mean, be honest. If you ever felt like, you were being taken advantage of, or you were getting talked down to at a dealership, type of one. If you feel like, I'm outmatched, or if you're not a good negotiator, how about that? Who on here is not a good negotiator? Type of one in the chat. All of these things I want you to know. That's why the old way has worked for dealers. I was there for 14 years. It's all about psychology and negotiation and confrontation and being comfortable with confrontation, which most car salespeople are. Most people, unless you're like in that business, you're not. So you want to get it over with as quick as possible. Someone who's fighting for their money doesn't mind being uncomfortable with you for an hour or 2 hours or a couple days or weeks. So you have to now take away that power, put yourself in a different position where you're in control, and that's in your house. That's why you don't need me. You need if you use what I teach. If you do it your old way, then yeah, you need somebody, and you're still not going to get your best offer because your best offer comes from shopping multiple dealers. But once you start shopping multiple dealers, you'll see they'll be jumping through hoops, and you'll feel like, dang, I got the power now. That's the name of the game. Go ahead. I'm going to do another one from TikTok because I know Dolan, you're not pulling. We'll get back to IG. We got all questions coming from everywhere. I just don't want to leave TikTok out. Would you recommend buying a car outright, cash, no note? Yeah, we talked about that in the last hour. If you're not invested, if you're not investing your money and the bank's money, if the bank, look, It depends on if you're investing your money. If you're and you're making money on your money, those people don't usually put their cash in cars. They want to keep their money making money. But if you're not really investing, then you probably want to just pay cash, get the transaction out the way. And if you're investing your money and you can use the bank's money at a low interest, you have to always check if the car you're shopping for has a low interest rate on it, y'all. Some of these cars have 0%, 0.99%. This is like a finance rebate. It's like the bank saying, here, use our money for free, and we will let, like, you cannot compete. It's no point in going to your credit union. No one can beat it. 0.99%, 1.99. When you can use the bank's money that cheap, you can keep your money making money, and you can keep your money in your bank account. A lot of times in this economy, people want to have their money available. So it's all personal though. If you notice, unless we're talking about leasing or buying, I'm not really going to say something you did was wrong, because it's a case-by-case basis. I'm more about, let me show you the options based on different people, and you pick who you are and you do that. The only thing that I'll tell somebody in a lot of cases they're wrong, almost all, is the leasing versus buying scenario all day. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Bring it in from either Instagram, TikTok, somewhere. All right, Tina, I want to buy a car and pay it in full, but don't want them to take advantage of me because if it is, okay, that's kind of a similar question, Tina. We've been talking about that like the whole broadcast. So, like that's how to shop is kind of what we're talking about. So it's, let's go to the next one and just, stay on the broadcast. The continual theme is nobody on here who's using what they learn from me, what they're learning in this live, what I have on my videos, what's in my book. No one should be worried about being taken advantage of because you're not shopping the old way anymore. Alejandro, I have equity in my current lease. If I want to purchase the vehicle, could the dealer subtract that equity from the purchase price on the lease contract if I decide to buy it? No. How do you know you have equity? Your equity is based on someone offering to buy the vehicle from you. So if you listen, equity is based on offers, nothing else. Kelly's Blue Book telling you your car is worth 20 grand is not an offer. Kelly's Blue Book instant cash offer, where they actually have a local dealer or a couple local dealers who will make you an offer, cash, come pick up, hey, bring your car in, we'll give you a check. That's how you assess equity. We do this in step 2. Once we decide whether we're leasing versus buying, which is the foundation of our car deal, you can't get a great deal if you purchased, but you should have leased. Can't get a great deal. It's over. You're on the wrong foundation. You can't get a great deal if you leased and you should have purchased, because the long-term wins you would have gotten, you now lose. Once you move past that, your next step is equity assessment. Look at my current car. Now some of you, Deshone, I don't have a current car, then you skip it. But if you have a current car, a lease, or a car you own, or a car you're paying for, you're financing, equity assessment, which means I'm going to call my bank and I'm going to find out what my payoff is. Then I'm going to go to the actual online buyers and get offers. And then I'm going to see, are my offers, is my highest offer higher than my payoff? That's equity. But there's no other way. So if you were to purchase that vehicle, no one can take your equity, because this is what my car would have sold for, but I'm going to buy it for the price they say I could buy it for. So if that's $4,000 less, great. But also be aware, not everyone is willing to pay you that. That was just one buyer who beat everybody else. So that's why I'm not into buying leases, because I'm not into buying your car, because all you're doing when you're buying your lease is buying a used car. That's it. That's all you're doing. All right. Hold on. I'm 20,000 miles over on my lease. Should I get a new lease or purchase my current vehicle? All right. This is very important, y'all. Watch this. I'm about to save. Look, y'all know I get excited about saving you money. If you listen, you're going to be writing me and telling me for years about all the money that you save. This is a big warning. When it comes to purchasing leases that are over mileage, some of you, in an effort to avoid a $2,500 mileage penalty, that was your fault. Okay, I'm not going to beat you up, but you drove the mileage. You contracted for this mileage, you drove more. That could happen through negligence, or it could happen through a real lifestyle change. I used to work 10 minutes from home. Now I work 40 minutes from home. It happens. And it doesn't matter. We're going to pay for what we use. It's okay, especially if you got a great lease deal. I'll pay for what I use. But here's the math about this. Going over your lease mileage is never a reason to buy your vehicle. Here's why. From the day you lease a vehicle, they tell you your lease, you could buy it. The purchase value, the residual value at the end is, let's say, $18,000. Let's just say that. Most times throughout history, the car wasn't worth that. When you finished with that lease, the car wasn't worth that. Deshone, what do you mean the car wasn't worth that? A comparable used car, similar, same year, similar mileage, you could have found for less. That was throughout history. So we never purchase leases without finding out, is the purchase price that they're even offering me, if I had the right mileage, we ain't talking about going over yet. If I had the right mileage, was that a good price? Many times it was not. Now, when you go over the mileage by 20,000 miles, does the purchase price change? Do they give you a new purchase price because you went 20,000 miles over? Do they say, hey, you know what? It was 18, but because you put all those miles on it, it ain't worth 18 no more. You don't care. We'll give it to you for 15. They don't do that, which means you are actually overpaying, because you're paying the same price that they said you should. If your car had 36,000 miles, you could buy it for 18. Your car got 56,000 miles and you're about to go pay 18. That's why going over mileage is never a reason to buy your lease. It's even more reason not to. It makes the car even more not worth what that buyout price is. So the best thing for you to do is to assess the penalty. First thing to do is see, you're going to compare three things. Can I sell this car? Using the equity assessment, we talked about that. Either watch the replay, get my book at 75% off in my Instagram bio, go to step 2, which is the equity assessment, get my book in the TikTok bio, click the link and get it for 75% off. It's normally $97. You could be reading it in a matter of minutes. And then what you do is you go to day 2 and you do the equity assessment and you see, all right, how much could I sell this for? If I'm going to lose, now I got to see what's the smallest loss I could take. Now, you might be able to sell it to a buyer. Let's say CarMax wants to buy it. They win the bid, and you might only have to come up with $1,000. I'm just making a number up. Sell it to them, pay the difference. It's better than a mileage penalty. It's better than the penalty you're going to hit. Now, second scenario is you actually see, if I was to replace the car now, what's the mileage penalty and the payment penalty? Because what most people don't understand is you have payments remaining. And some of them, so it's so many lies that's been told. I feel bad for y'all, because you don't know from which angle is what. Because somebody you might say, oh, well, I went in with, I had 3 payments left. I had 6 payments left and the dealership took care of them. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. In 99% of the cases, those 6 payments you had got rolled over to the next car deal. So those payments didn't disappear. So what you're going to do is you're going to compare. If I sell the car to the highest bidder, what's my penalty? Or maybe I went over on my Jeep mileage. This was back when the market was real high. I was over about 6,000 miles and I still sold my Jeep for $8,900. Again, everything in the world, every car in the United States was worth 7 to 15 grand more. So just because you're over miles don't mean you can't sell that car and close the gap. Second thing you want to compare is, if I get out now, what would the mileage and payment penalty be? Third thing is, if I just drive, and go to the end, what would the mileage penalty be without the payments? Because if you got 3 payments left of $500, you got your mileage penalty and you got $500 in pay, $1,500 in payments to account for. So this all is structured. Very important. This is why some people say, Deshone, like, man, I had a girl say, listen, you make things complex. This is a girl that y'all remember, I don't know, some people's on here. She gave a horrible advice about leasing, and we featured her on the show. I don't know if she ended up seeing the video or not, but she wasn't too happy. Naturally, I wasn't attacking her personally. I was just attacking what she was saying about leasing. Her video was incorrect. And she said, you know, you make things a little complex. She's a car saleswoman. She's in the business. And I said, listen, you've been taught, young lady, that this thing is supposed to be this simple. Why do you think people out here and they hate it? It's simple, but you're losing money. See, if you just take it a little more serious, I don't need you to treat it like a house purchase, but it's the second most expensive purchase behind a house. Let's treat it like that, and you'll save the money. But if you're not willing to treat this, every time you purchase a car, you should be treating it like a small house. I'm gonna take this finances seriously. I'm gonna have me a strategy. I want to make sure I keep the most money possible. And when it comes to leasing, you must structure your lease right, or you're not going to enjoy leasing, and you're going to have these penalties that you shouldn't have had unless you had a lifestyle change. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's keep the questions rolling. I had a few on TikTok, and what you're going to find is somebody's going to ask the same question you have. So even if I don't ask you, literally some of you are going to be like, oh, that's the same question I had. All right, so is it true if you end your lease early by having the dealer buy out your car because they need inventory, you always lose? No, if somebody buys your car, that's a clean transaction. Just make sure that you know what you're going to walk with. No, you could sell your car a year into the lease. If you do your equity assessment and you see, man, I could get out or I could break even, clean transaction. There's no losing in that. Unless you put a bunch of money down, which is why we tip. If you put $4, $5, $6 grand down on your lease because you wanted to lower that payment to a comfortable zone, then you don't really want to end that lease early. All right. YouTube. Do you think there's another shift in the new car market that will bring the price back down to a normal? I'm sorry to tell you, prices is great. Felicia, when it's just they're not good for you. You gotta get your skills up. I'm gonna show you something. I was helping I have a car buying school. Besides my book, I have a video school where I coach people around the country. I started that school because people were out here getting killed in 2021. November 2021, I opened the school, online school. Felicia was our first graduate. Middle of the pandemic, January, she got a BMW X1. She saved $1,950 off the price, a $1,950 discount. And that was the first indicator that I don't believe what the heck going on out there. Now, for those of you who, if you use what I'm teaching you, deals are everywhere. Deals are everywhere. Look at what I'm showing you. You saw Greg. $56,000 vehicle, his lease payment is $527 a month. Look at the date. Look at Taupe. 2023 BMW, $54,000 vehicle, $690 a month. Look at Danielle. Look at the date. Look, $44,000 Audi, $550 a month. I hadn't seen. Look, $2,086 discount on a Toyota Camry. We've been making deals. If anybody's out, look, if you're gonna be in my world, and I do want you in my world, don't believe what people. There's two things you don't believe. Don't believe what one dealer says, and don't believe what anyone says about deals. Because they'll tell you in a minute, oh, it's so hard out there. Now, you don't realize, here's a bad thing about that. You don't realize when you go into dealers shopping that way with that energy, they hear all of that. Hey, man, man, everything's so overpriced. They're going to use that against you. Yeah, man, I just came from a dealer, man. I got a quote on that car, man. It was too expensive. Well, how much did they quote you? Man, they said it was like $700 a month. Oh, really? Now, I might know you. Now, the best deal on that car might be $5, but you might have walked into a dealer who like, man, what if I could sell you a little more than that? See, the words you're saying, you don't realize how they're hurting you. That's why you use my stuff. You don't even talk. You don't talk to salespeople. See, I had to set this up in a way it's truly online, because the more you talk, if you like Deshone, I don't even know I'm saying stuff that's hurting me. I know you don't. But that's my job to tell you. I was in the car business for 14 years. The information that you are going in, the energy you're going in saying, oh man, I need a car this week, hurting you. Desperate vibes. Can't say no for long. Maybe you could say no today, but not for long. That's all the stuff you tell. That's what car salespeople are trained for. They're trained to pick up those little words you say that you think are harmless. Man, I've been shopping for a week. All of this stuff is hurting you. And so when you stop talking and just sit at your computer and do the things that I'm telling you to do, you're going to find out deals are everywhere and you're in control. But if you're going in there thinking you could actually negotiate or just get a car deal the old way, everything's going to seem overpriced. So RA Cave, I'm sorry to tell you, deals been out here, man. For those who know how to get deals, they're everywhere. For those who don't know how to get deals, they're nowhere. Go ahead, Dolan. Yeah, I agree. Let's go to TikTok again. Hold on. We're going to keep TikTok. 2024 Edge, looking to trade in for 2024 Explorer. So here's the thing. You're trading in a deep depreciation cycle. You've lost a ton of money in depreciation. You're still in the deepest depreciation cycle, which is that first 1 to 6 years. You're losing 20% the first year, 15%, and then you're looking to trade it in. You should be leasing. So if you're willing to hear more about that, I can't help you do something the wrong way, because you're going to look at me in 3 years and say, yeah, I bought the car. Now I'm looking to trade that in. Dag, Deshone, why it seem like I have so much negative equity? You have negative equity because you're a short-term person. You're not keeping your cars 8 years. You're not outliving the depreciation cycle, but yet you're not getting aggressive leases. So you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars to purchase these cars. You're losing it when you resell them back to the dealership. And then you're doing it all over again, over and over again. Meanwhile, somebody who's leasing these same vehicles, a Ford Edge, they were probably paying $400 a month, no money down. You've paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into that Ford Edge. Now you're looking to try to get that back and do it again with a Ford Explorer. Person, you should be leasing these cars. If you're not buying your cars to pay them off and outlive that depreciation, which is going to be heavy the first 6-7 years, I have something in my book and everything in my videos. I call it the 8-year rule. If you're not buying a car to get to that stage, that level of ownership, you should not be shopping for purchases. You should be shopping for aggressive leases. And then you're going to see, wow, now that my deal is on the right foundation, I'm actually saving thousands and thousands. You'll be able to see it. I don't think there's anything more liberating than a person who's been purchasing for years, putting all this money into these cars, who turns around and starts leasing. Like, you're going to see all that money you were putting in the cars in your bank account now, and you're going to be amazed. When should I look for a vehicle? Before leaving a job or after starting a new one? If it's the same, yeah, probably before leaving a job if you're going to look to get a loan for it. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question in TikTok, Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Send it in. All right, Facebook. My lease is due in December. I don't understand how to sell the lease. Just watch that part over, Peggy. I don't want to continue because there's people who've been on here. I don't want to listen. I know that there's only about 25 questions, 30 questions total that all of you could have. That's why you could sit on the broadcast and you could benefit, because someone else is going to ask the same question you have. But what I can't do is answer the same questions over and over again, because now I'm just doing a disservice to the people who've been on. So what I would tell you is watch wherever platform you're on. As soon as we end the show, we post the replay. So watch the replay and get the actual and get that part of the strategy, because I want to make sure the show's quality. I don't want people listening saying that he answered that question 3 times. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. Looking at buying a new car that just got redesigned. Okay, should I wait to see how the new model rates before buying? Definitely. Oh, that's a great question. Who's heard that you should not buy a car the first year it comes out? If you've heard that you should not buy a car the first year it comes out, type of me in the comments. Y'all killing the likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. Y'all just keep tapping the screen as you come in. If you got time, every couple minutes, just throw some taps in there. Keep shooting those likes up. I appreciate everybody who's doing that. And I appreciate all the sharers. All right, so you see, got a bunch of people from every platform who's heard. Look, he's speaking facts. Make sure y'all lock in and invest in his resources. I appreciate you. Thank you, Linda. So now, a car being redesigned, thank you, LA. A car being redesigned is not the same as new engine, new transmission, new steering system. Redesign could be the same components, in which case, Janine, I'm not worried about a car that's been redesigned that has the same components. But if it has new technology, new things they're experimenting with, certainly you might want to give it a year before you actually you don't want to be the guinea pig. You don't want to be the guinea pig because you're rolling the dice. Could be great, could be horrible. Okay, great question. Go ahead. Next question, Dolan. Welcome to all the new people. If y'all don't know, this is Car Shopping Secrets. This is what I'm thinking about calling this show, because it's really, the things I teach aren't secrets, but they're not well known. And I would say I probably only know half of them because of being inside the car business. So I guess those would be secrets. And then the other half are just really learning finance and learning numbers and learning, the numbers. So those are not necessarily secrets. But yeah, I'm doing this live show, and I will always, for the time period, we're promoting my new book. So my new book is a digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. So if you're like, Deshone, that's me, then this book is for you. 7 steps. It's called 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book because I'm going to update it every time I need to. For instance, y'all used to hear, some of you may know in my videos, one of the people who used to bid on our cars was Vroom. One of the people who used to be a marketplace we would shop with is Vroom. Vroom went out of business a few months ago. I had to have with a digital book. All I did, we went in, me and my team, we snatched Vroom out, boom. Everybody who had the book didn't have to go there and say, "Dag, Deshone, you sending us the Vroom," and they're out of business. We updated it, the file got updated, and we're able to keep it fresh. That's why the digital book is the way to go. So, but I'm doing 75% off as part of our official launch. And so it's normally $97. You can go to my TikTok bio and click that website. You won't leave the broadcast. You won't leave the show. Same thing on Instagram. My Instagram bio, you won't leave the show. Get your book. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can go to deshonesbook.com, or you can scan the QR code and get your 75% off. But you'll see there's a timer. Once that 30 minutes is over, book goes back to $97. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. All right. This is IG, Instagram. Should you buy extended coverage on a used car? Great question. So if the car has, listen, Diva asks, should you purchase an extended warranty when you buy a used car? Now this goes for a new car too. Even though you have a warranty when you buy a new car, some people like to extend it if they're going to keep it. If you're going to keep it not 7. If you're going to keep it 8 to 10 years, some people tend to buy a warranty even longer than the factory. It depends on how expensive the car is to maintain. When something breaks. When something breaks, how expensive is it to fix? And how likely is it that something is going to break? So if you use that test I told you all about earlier in the show, where we go to Google and we do our quality check on the car, one of the steps we do to make sure to decide if we're going to get an extended warranty is we type in the year, the make, the model, repair cost. That's also in the book. We do this in day 6. because this is in the paperwork and protection step. If you see that your vehicle is high on the expense list in terms of when something goes wrong, it's expensive to fix, then the warranty is usually a great investment. But you want to get it from a dealership. Call a couple, get a price from the one that you're shopping with, get a price from a couple local dealers just to make sure that they're not overcharging you for it. But if you see your car is very low on the repair list of expense and the likelihood of things going wrong, like it's not a car that's known for things to go wrong, and when it does go wrong, it's not expensive, then a warranty is not going to really pay for itself. You go spend $3,000 on a warranty, you're probably not going to get that money back in the claims you put in. So it has everything to do. That's what you do to decide whether a warranty is worth it or not. You must know if this is a Mercedes Benz and when something breaks, it's $2,000 or it's $1,000 minimum, then yeah, I'm going to get that extended warranty from a dealership, not from any of these side companies that go out of business every year. All right, go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one in. All right, keep typing your questions, y'all. We on here for a couple more minutes. All right, yeah, I'm loving this. And listen, and we want to keep the show fast paced. Our goal is to make sure that every time we do a show, now y'all gonna see it's certain things that I want to go deep with on it. I'm gonna do something soon called where I show y'all like this it's a couple subjects that y'all see when we do a show. You're gonna be like, oh great, this ain't the time for questions. This is the time for me to just sit here and look at this. And I'll be asking y'all questions because y'all gonna be participating. But if we're doing straight up Q&A like this, we want to get through as many as possible. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot it up. Deshone, can you just go with me? All right, Dolan, you playing. Why you put that question up? Go ahead, next question, Dolan. Crystal, you didn't see somebody ask that same question. And what I said was, when you learn to shop from home, you don't need anyone with you. That's like saying, Deshone, can you come to my house and teach me to shop from home? We shop from home. And we don't spend more than 30 minutes in a car dealership. This stuff sounds, if you just jumped on the broadcast and you don't know me, you haven't used my stuff before, it sounds crazy. Deshone, how are you getting your best offer? But we have thousands of people doing it. They're using my system for shopping on home. The things I'm talking about in this live, the things I talk about in my social media videos, they took it and they're using it. The things that's in my book, they're using it. They're not deviating from it because it's an oil and water. My system and the way I'm teaching y'all to shop is nothing like the old way you've been shopping. It is oil and water. You can't mix them. You're either going to do it my way and try it and then say, Deshone, I love your way. I'm never doing it any other way. Or you're going to do it that old way and try to mix little things from my system, which is still the old way. So when I say follow it to the T, you're going to win following it to the T. And in which case you don't need anyone with you because you're at home and you're making your deals before you ever leave your house, whether you're leasing, purchasing, getting a new car, used car, that deal is made before you ever leave. If you're going to see a used car, you're not going there hoping to get money off. Now we do ask for a couple $100 off when we're there, but we don't leave our house unless we know it's already the lowest deal in the market. So even if they say no after I test drive that used car, he might say, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. And when you got the lowest deal in the market, you got honest people. So you get out there and you're like, hey, listen, I love the car. I just test drove it. I'm ready to make a deal. Take off another $750. And again, you don't get obnoxious because when you know the market, see, when you don't know the market, you insult the lowest price people. And you don't know because you think there's always more. No, it doesn't matter if he's the lowest in the market. There's more. And listen, and you end up walking away from the best deal in the market. But when you know the market, like you're going to know using what we talked about, you get out there, you say, listen, it's another $750. I'll take it right now. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I got that car priced to sell. It's the lowest in the market. And you're going to say, yeah, I know. Let's go. And sometimes they'll say, listen, just because you came out so quick. And a lot of times they'll say, look, I just posted it too. See, because remember what I told y'all earlier about the alerts we get. So a lot of times we're one of the first ones seeing the car and it hasn't had a chance to have a lot of people see it yet. But you get out there, you ask for another $750. Maybe they split it with you, you win. If they don't, if they're like, man, listen, it's the lowest price in the market. I know it is. You don't know. Dealers use a tool called V-Auto. So they know when their used car is the lowest price in the market. So, and if they say, look, I don't have any more money to give you, no problem. Let's go. You got a deal. It is the lowest price in the market. I just wanted to ask, either way we win. But that's the only time we're talking about numbers is on a used car. And before we ever get there, we already know it's a deal. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, Dolan, shoot it up. All right. This is Facebook. I'm on my third Land Rover lease, and it's ending August at the 39th of the month. I'm guessing you meant 29th. I purchased your book and briefly read it and learned I could sell it to CarMax, being the most equity back. Okay, perfect. Following the steps. I have 12,000 miles per year. Thank you for purchasing the book, by the way, Crystal. I love it. I have 12,000 miles per year, and I'm currently at 28,000. Great. I will call Chase Land Rover. Chase doesn't have a third-party restriction unless they changed it. Don't quote me, but Mazda's leases are done through Chase, and I've helped so many people sell. My mother. My mother had a Mazda lease. My wife's best friend. So if Chase still doesn't have a third-party restriction, then you can literally just cash out. You don't have to take third-party restriction part of the book that I say. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep reading. To see if I have ended the lease clause. But if I don't, how do I sell to CarMax without being dishonest about owning it? That's fine. You won't. All you do is call them and set the appointment. They're gonna do all the details. They don't expect people to know what you know. They don't expect people to know the difference between a third-party restriction and a lease that doesn't have one. So they're working with, unfortunately, they're working with unaware buyers. So most of the time they don't want to waste their time. But when you set your appointment up with CarMax and you tell them there's no third-party restriction, you'll be fine. Now, what you're going to have to do is, if you want to replace it, Crystal, you're going to move into the next step of the book, which is shopping for your lease, because you're now going to time your transactions. You're not going to just go sell a CarMax unless you have a backup car. You don't need a car right away. Some of you like Deshone, I need to sell my old car and I need the new car the same day, or that's fine. I teach you in the book how to time the transaction, because the thing about these buyers, CarMax, they'll be there for you, Crystal, 30 days from now. So when you go shop for your lease and shop your market and get your best lease, CarMax will be right there waiting for you, still waiting to pay the check, still waiting to cut you that check. And you just go there, pick up your check. I've been there twice. Once for myself, I sold my Jeep to CarMax. They won the bid. And then I sold my mother's lease to CarMax and went down there again with her and my father. And but CarMax doesn't always win the bid. Sometimes it's Carvana, sometimes it's AutoNation, but it's easy, Crystal. Just keep following the steps in the book, and there's nothing else to think about. Just you're gonna see it's super simple. Sometimes people are like, yo, this seems too, am I gonna mess something up? This looks like I'm about to make $3,000. And they like, no, you just go there and they're like, okay, they do the paperwork, they write up the purchase order, they bring you a check, here you go, thank you so much. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Krista. I appreciate you too. Let's go. Man. Let's go. Okay, look. All right, we got a lot of people who got the book on here. Thank you guys so much. Bought the book last week, shop Saturday, sent initial emails yesterday, and receiving several quotes today. Come on. I'm loving it. Everybody else, look, y'all, you hear what the people are saying, and this is good. If this is the way it's going to be going, I'm loving this. That was a surprise. It's good to see people who have the book using it and winning with it. So definitely, if you haven't got the book and you're like, yo, what book are they talking about? It's my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get it in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. Click the link, click that website, and then click the button that says my new book, 75% off. But you got to get there before the timer runs out, or once the timer runs out, it's $97, which is still great. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, go to deshonesbook.com or scan the QR code if you're like watching on the television. All right, go ahead. We got a couple more and then we'll wrap. Go ahead, Dolan. If I get a RAV4 at MSRP with no add-ons, is that so? I'm going to cut you off right there. This is YouTube. Question from YouTube. You don't dictate what a good deal is. See, that's where we lose. See, if someone tries to dictate, all right, let me show you right here. Let me show you Kimberly. You don't know what the bottom is on a vehicle. When you are shopping for a new car or a lease, if you set out to buy, you're not used. Y'all know we jumping from subject to subject depending on the question. We're talking about new cars and leases. When you go out there, you have no idea what the bottom price is. You can't say, oh, if it's MSRP, I get a good deal. If it's invoice price, I get a good deal. You don't know what rebates they have. You have no idea. I'm gonna show you Kimberly. This is why it's dangerous. Now I'm gonna use her as an extreme because on her look, this is Kimberly. She's in my private group. She saved $20,000 off of her Maserati. $20,700 to be exact. As she was getting her offers, she had a couple dealers that wanted to take off $5,000. A couple dealers wanted to take off $7,000. Now she's probably getting excited. Oh, look, $7,000 off. Oh my God, this is amazing. Sitting at home, just watching these offers come through her computer. $12,000. Oh, this is it. Now, had she decided, you know what? $12,000, that got to be the best. She didn't I say, we had a big saying in my group. It's called trust the process. Trust the process means get 5 to 7 offers. 5 to 7 offers. She ends up getting an $86,961 Maserati for $66,000. Some of you, your best deal is going to be $7,000 off. Some of you, your best deal is going to be $3,000. Some of you might be shopping for vehicles that are so rare and exclusive. People are paying $100,000 over, like you're shopping for a Ferrari. Ferrari, where, or a Lambo, they might have a car where they're charging $100,000 over asking price, and then people are paying it. Some people are paying it, and then you find a deal, and the lowest bidder is sticker price, which means no problem. How much better did you do than the people who overpaid? But until you get the offers, you don't know what the bottom of the market is. I will never assume it. I've been doing this since 2006. Deals are going to be different. I will never assume. When I go in and you can't take one deal and bring it to the next. Yo, I saved 20 grand on the Maserati. So next time I buy a BMW, I'm looking to save 20 grand on that too. No. Each vehicle has its own lowest price in the market, and that's how you shop individually. Go ahead. Shoot it up, Dolan. Next question. Wait, let me just leave that up. Let me just see if there's a second part of Ed's question. Can you throw that back up? I didn't know if it was a second part to his question. If not, that's okay. That was the biggest thing. Before you even go to the second part of the question, Ed, just make sure that you're not assuming what the bottom of the market is. You need to be getting at least 5 to 7 offers from independent dealers, and you're fine. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. It's okay. All right. I'm loving this, man. This is wonderful. Facebook. This is from Facebook. I bought 20 plus vehicles in my lifetime. Okay. I did it your way the last time I bought, and I never left home until I went to pick up my truck. I finally did it right. Listen, Mike, you have no idea, because when you said I bought 20 plus vehicles, right? I was in my mind, I always say, listen, you're not an expert because you bought 30 cars. You're an expert when you have seen all these transactions, but you nailed it, man. You came in straight. Like, to say that I bought 20, listen to that, y'all. This is a person who has probably bought more vehicles than most people on this call. I'm sure he wasn't lazy with it. I'm sure he was going in doing his best, but he looks at the new way that we shop from home, not going to you not leaving your house until you know I'm going to pick up my car. And he's like, I finally did it right. My man, congratulations. And look, now you tell everybody, tell your family. Now you could teach your kids, you could teach everybody in your house. This is how we car shop, y'all. So the beautiful thing is, when you got teenagers and you got young children, y'all, that never bought their car, if you teach them how this is how you buy your first car, they are never tainted with the bad advice and the old 20, 30, 40-year advice, the way people are shopping. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. That was a good one, Dolan. Go ahead, next one. Let's do a couple more, then we'll wrap. I'm having a good time. CEO, how do I purchase the book? It's in my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox in literally seconds. Go to my TikTok bio, click the link, or go to my Instagram bio, click that website. You won't leave and just click the button that says 75% off. new book, and get your book. You'll have it immediately. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, go to deshonsbook.com and or scan the QR code. This is another question from Facebook, and then we'll go back to TikTok. What do you think about the 24-10 rule in regards to your strategy? I don't. I think that's a rule about affordability, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, I don't. It's not something that I use. When I use in my book, I have something called the perfect budget calculator. Now, there's things that I've actually invented. Excuse me, I'm drinking a lot of water. When you look at affordability is based on, in my book, knowing what you can pay comfortably and buying below your budget. There's two reasons that I've seen people lose cars. And sometimes you can combine these reasons. And if you can avoid these two things, you pretty much never have a shot at losing a car besides a hardship. I can't say a hardship is a reason people lose a car, because it's a real hardship. It can't be avoided. You lost your job, someone passes away, God forbid. That's unforeseen. We can't control that. The two things that we can control is two reasons I see people lose their cars. They go over their budget. So you went in to spend $400 a month, you leave at $500 a month. Now you're uncomfortable financially. You knew your max budget was $4. And look, if you've done this, not if you've lost a car, if you've done this, if you've gone over your budget, just type I ain't gonna ask you to type, just you know who you are. And I understand this happens. We never want it to happen again. We should not be going over our budget. Not only should we not be going over, the way I teach you to shop, we shop below our budget. Second reason is you didn't get a quality car. You got a bad car. So you could have a car below your budget, Deshone, comfortable monthly payment, everything's good. Oh, it's a bad car, it's breaking down. Oh, yo, this car is affordable, it's comfortable. Oh, shoot, it's a lemon. So those two reasons, you know, even when it comes to luxury cars, some people could afford the payment and now things start to break on it and they can't afford the maintenance. So when it comes to, now you combine those two, now that's the repo recipe. Like literally, I'm over budget in my car and then the car starts to break down. So now I end up with a car that's in the shop. I can't even drive it, but I still got a payment to make on it. And now the shop just told me, oh, I need $2,000 to fix it. So the way I teach you to shop is to always purchase below your budget and then using my strategies to find a quality car. If you get a quality car below your budget, that's what I teach. I don't know about the 24-10 rule. If it's working for people, God bless them, but I'm not that familiar with it. Go ahead. This one's from Instagram. Would it be okay to go test drive a car but stay quiet? Use your techniques of not saying the wrong thing. Yep, just rest, drinking, and go back to shop from home. Yeah, that's it. That is literally the formula. When you are shopping for a new car or a lease, not with a used car, we talked about this earlier, you are going to go in and test drive that car. That's the last thing you're going to do before you actually end up getting offers on it. Because that in my book, that's in step 4, which is the shopping step. Shopping is deciding what you want, not buying it. When you're shopping, you're deciding what you want. So once you test drive a car with a lease, I always tell people have 3 vehicles that you like. Because the first vehicle you shop for, you might get all those offers and it has a bad lease program on it. So many of our people have gone to their second choice because they'd be like, Deshone, I wanted a Range Rover. Range Rover lease was stupid. So I went and I got me a Lexus truck. Or I went and I got me the Mercedes that had a better lease program. That's fine. You can't control the lease program. So what you're going to see when you're shopping for a lease is a dealer could be discounting the car for you by thousands. If the lease program's bad, it's still going to be over 1.5%. But yeah, when it comes to it, that's what you do. We are test driving. Hey, I'm here to test drive. I teach you in the book how to call, set it up. Hey, I'm here for my test drive. You're there for 20 minutes. All right, listen, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. If I decide this is the car for me, I'll certainly give you a call. No, hey, listen, can I just tell you about the offers? No, thank you. I'm good. You have to be adamant on that. And you'll know now, if you sit down and you start talking numbers, you know, man, I ain't following Deshone's system. At least now you'll know. I don't want you to do it. I want you to be like, force yourself. Nah, man, listen. Nah, look, because what you're going to do is you're going to go home and you're going to talk to multiple people like him. He wants you to sit down there so he can get that one-on-one with you. No, we're not doing one-to-one. We're doing 1 to 25. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Test driving, not rest drinking. Oh, no problem. I figured that's what you meant. I knew you. He said, I meant test driving, not rest drinking. Listen, I know. And this is, if you ever have an issue getting your book at the end, it's only because that happens. We type fast. We switch a couple. That's why whenever you purchase the book, you'll see there's a support email. If that book is not in your inbox in literally less than 10 minutes, then it's usually an issue with the way you type the email. Just email the support and we'll make sure that you get the book direct to you. But yeah, no problem. I'm with you. All right, peace and blessings. I'm pre-approved for a vehicle. Should I tell the dealership up front or no? Yeah, Gina, you know what? I like it. I know people will say, yo, don't tell the dealership. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to let the dealership see if they can beat your rate. But you got to, whatever dealership you ended up buying from, when you find that car that has the best price, you go lock it up. And then you say, listen, I got my own financing. Here's my offer. But if you guys could beat it, then I'll give you the loan. See, that creates a much better experience, because what you're going to lose from some dealers is they won't even sell you the car for that price if you don't give them a shot to beat your rate. They won't sell you the car. So when you go in and say, yeah, I got pre-approved, but if y'all could beat it, I'll do the loan with y'all. Now you've given them, you see, you don't lose anything by doing that. In fact, what you're going to see sometimes is they'll call you and say, good news, we got you a better interest rate than what you got. See, what we are trying to avoid is that having the dealer get us our only interest rate and then overpaying. People said, no, I don't want that. I hear these dealers overcharge for the rates and they're making money on them. So then they went and started getting pre-approved and said, no, I'm not going to let the dealer even have a try. But no, you don't want to do that. You want multiple people bidding for your finance rate. And what you'll see is if you do it within a 45-day period, Experience calls that the rate window, it's only going to weigh on your credit as one hard inquiry. So whatever one hard inquiry would have lowered your credit score, whatever that, if they did a hard inquiry to get you to pre-approval, you already have it. But if you could do multiple hard inquiries within that rate window period, you can go to Google and you can actually verify this. Because sometimes people say, Deshone, is this true? Let me show you, and then we'll get ready to wrap. But I want to show y'all this. If you actually go to Experian, let's just Google. Hold on. You go to google.com and just type in rate window, rate shopping, cars, Experian. And you'll see Experian has an article called What is Rate Shopping? And it says it right on here. And it gives you a window of time where you can shop and have multiple people. So it says the FICO score. Now the FICO score window is 14 to 40 days. So just read it and just know this is on the credit bureau site. This is on the credit bureau site. So do it right, but let these people bid for your business, because you never know if they can get you a point or a half a point or 2 points better on the interest rate, they'll save you tons of money. All right. Okay. All right, listen, we've been on for an hour and a half. Listen, we're going to wrap, but I hope to continue this with y'all. If anybody has my book, I will certainly be continuing with you, but I'll also be doing these live shows pretty regularly. I'm going to send these out. We'll eventually be promoting them. I'm going to promote the exact time so you guys know. That way, if you see somebody in their car shopping, you can say, hey, this guy, he does this show at this particular time. Most likely it's going to be 12 Eastern time. And we're thinking about doing a second live show, 3 p.m. Eastern time. That way. But what you're going to also see is we're going to be rebroadcasting these. So because, people want to watch it later, and people get just as much value watching it later, because the same question you asked is the same question they were going to ask. So listen, if you want everything I teach in one spot, you want this arsenal of information that you can use step by step, go grab my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. And Click the link in my TikTok bio. You'll see a website there. Same thing with the Instagram bio. And it's 75% off as part of our book launch. It's normally $97. You can go to deshonsbook.com if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, scan the QR code. However you get it, if you get it before that timer hits 0, you get the 75% off. After that, it goes back up to $97. So, all right, we will be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Meet me at noon. And the book, of course, the book, somebody said is the book for leasing too. The book is everything. The book is leasing, it's purchasing, it's buying new, it's buying used, it's selling leases, it's selling cars you owe money on, it's paying cash, it's extended warranty. It's a 7-step system. So it's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships, which y'all know, everybody who learned from me, we avoid these dealerships. We're not in there for any more than 30 minutes. So it's a digital book. So every time I update it, when you open the new file, you'll see, oh, shoot, this changed. That's because it's updated. If I update a script, because you got my scripts in there, and there's some things in the book where I link you to a video, anything I update, we update it, and your file will automatically be updated. So you never have to worry about the book becoming obsolete and being like, man, it worked for me in 2024, but now I'm in 2025. No, we'll always be updating it to make sure that it stays relevant. You don't need to go buy volume 5. All right, y'all, here we are, 2027. Now I want you to get volume 5. No, one time. So go grab your copy, 75% off. Even if you missed the countdown, $97 is still incredible value. We sold a lot of copies at $97, but why not get 75% off? So here's what I know about these lives. We've been doing them for a couple days now. Somebody's going to ask you a question. So even if you're driving, if you can't type, then just feel free to just sit and listen. And I guarantee somebody's going to ask the same question that you would have had. Cheetah, this is the man to listen to. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. 100%. Wait, I don't even think we're up on. Let's get clear. All right. Okay, is the same 1.5% used for both leases and finance? Nope. 1% rule. The 1.5% rule is based on the 1% rule. The 1% rule for great leases has been around for decades. Savvy people who got great lease deals always knew if you could get a lease deal and your payment was 1% of the MSRP, you stole the car. So if you were looking at a $40,000 MSRP and your lease payment was $400 or less, it was a steal. Don't ask any question. I still call that a steal. Now, a deal is between 1 and 1.5. I had to create the 1.5% rule because as I started making more social media videos about leasing, I saw a lot of people going out there and leasing vehicles because they were like, Deshone, I didn't know I should be leasing. They started leasing and then they started overpaying for leases and they didn't know. So we put that 1.5% rule in there for as an indicator of when you're paying too much for a lease. If you do the math and your lease payment, you got to get your quotes, your offers with only first month's payment down, 12,000 miles per year. You can adjust the mileage and add, if you do 15,000, if you do 20,000, even if you do 10,000, adjust it after you pick the best offer. If that offer is more than 1.5% of the MSRP, you're paying too much for a car you're giving back. That's the rule. Yes, 1.5. You got it. I want to put it under my business. I want a Cadillac IQ. This one's from YouTube. We're on 4 platforms, so make sure everybody's sharing, tag somebody, because you don't want your friends to get mad at you because you did not share this information with them. Will you save money on buying a car? Oh, no, let's go back to logic. I want a Cadillac IQ electric vehicle priced at $150,000. If I have an 80 payback score and 720 credit score, will I qualify for financing if I put 20% down? I'm not sure. All you could do is actually see. When you're talking about a bit, if you're trying to put the car in your business name only without signing for it as a personal guarantor, I don't teach that. So you should find out if somebody's trying to tell you, because what I've seen, I've spent many years in the business with General Motors. They had a big commercial line, lots of pickup trucks, lots of cargo vans, passenger vans. When I got to Mercedes-Benz, they have a big commercial line. I very rarely saw people putting cars in their business name with no personal guarantor. I remember one guy, he had like million, and he had a fleet, and he had to get us a lot of documentation to get it done. But anybody else just coming in. But I'm not saying it can't be done. What I am saying is, whoever told you you can put a car in your name and your business name without personally signing for it, go learn from them how to do that. But when it comes to putting in your business name, like hundreds of people I've seen regular, what you're doing is you're shopping for your car the way I teach, because nobody overpays for cars like business people. Like these people, these influencers that y'all are seeing buy these cars, the amount of money they're overpaying for these cars is actually scary. And so you need someone who's going to show you how to pay less for the car, because that's your business's money. But then what you put the car in your business name and you're the personal guarantor, because the bank needs somebody who they can go after if the business doesn't pay, especially if it's a new business. And let's add one more thing to this. Keep the questions coming, y'all. I'm gonna try to get through as many as I can in an hour. I want to add something to this. You know how many people have reached out to me saying, Deshone, I want to put a car in my business name. And I say, hey, what's the business? Oh, I work from home. I got a consulting company. So when are you doing business mileage? When are you actually going to be doing, oh, well, I just, I'm not going to help you get audited. Not going to do it. Because any tax benefits you think you're getting, I'm not giving you tax advice. You should have a great accountant if you're planning on doing this. Any tax benefits you're thinking about getting, when they come and audit you and say, okay, we need to see what you did. You wrote off, you wrote off $7,000 a year in car payments, and then, all right, what are you using that vehicle for? If you don't have proof that you're on the road and that you're going to see clients and that you're actually using that vehicle for business purposes, you're going to be in trouble. It's going to be the new PPP loans. The day of reckoning will come. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right, let's keep the questions coming. This one's TikTok. What about for real estate or hairstylists? Can I get a lease for business? That's very common. Very common. I had tons of realtors, especially with Mercedes. Tons of realtors come in, you put the car in your business name, you personally sign for it. Just make sure, please make sure, everybody who plans on putting a car in your business name, here's what I need you to do. Before you even go to buy it, call the finance man. I found this out the hard way. I work from, and this just goes to show it doesn't matter how good you bid, how much you take your business seriously. Some things we don't know. So I had a customer come into Mercedes. He real estate developer out of Brooklyn, heavy guy, young guy. He got an S class. Puts the car in his business name. He previously had a Range Rover. He's had tons of cars. He puts it in his business name. He's the personal guarantor. That normally makes the car only show up on your business. It doesn't show to your debt, on your personal debt to income. So when you go to apply for credit, if you go to buy a house, if you go to get a car, they won't see that that loan or that lease is coming out of your debt to income. In the case of Mercedes-Benz Financial, they still showed it. They still show, even if you're only the personal guarantor, they still show it. So you want to call the finance manager and you want to ask whatever brand you're thinking about buying, hey, if I put the car in my business name and I'm the PG, personal guarantor, will it show on my personal credit or not? And let them tell you no before you go through it. I learned the hard way. He was not happy. I mean, he understood. I didn't know, but it wasn't a good day. And that's my man. We're still very close. So he didn't blame me. It's just something we never saw coming. So all right, my balance, this one's YouTube. My balance is $4,000 left. Oh, try to listen. In order to get the question answered, you got to type it all in one shot. You can't do continuations of questions. All right, so make sure you send your questions in one shot. Okay, this is I'm not seeing the Instagram questions. Hold on, let me see if I can go on Instagram on my phone. It's not showing me anybody on Instagram. That's weird. We've been having a little trouble with Instagram today. We had technical difficulties going live on Instagram earlier, and that kind of threw our. That's weird. All right. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me just see if I can get to Instagram. I don't want to leave you guys out. Let me. Okay. I'm a check in from one of my. That's what I'll do. I'll check in from one of my secret accounts. See if I can see all the questions. All right. Here we go. There we go. Let me put on do not disturb. All right, we got you, Instagram. Hold on, we coming to you. Okay, perfect. So from now on, I'll be seeing them on my phone. All right, so will you save money buying a car through Costco or Consumer Reports? No, Ira. I'm gonna tell you why. Let me turn this volume down because y'all can hear that. I'm gonna tell you why. Who has a Costco program? Who has a special? Who has Ford X Plan, Mercedes Benz, Mercedes Benz? What is it called? Fleet pricing. Any special GM supplier pricing, General Motors supplier price, any of these things that you think actually should make, and they should make the car buying process easy and get you your best deal. Any of those things, you can't trust them. I'm going to tell you why. You can't trust that the dealer is going to give you the right price, and you can't trust that there's no rebates and hidden incentives that you're not getting. This is all in my book. It's called, if y'all don't know, this whole live is sponsored by my new book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book, so you never have to worry about it being out of date. If something changes a year from now, I update the file. You open that book a year from now, everything's relevant. But that book has the 7 steps that I use to teach hundreds, thousands now, how to purchase from home, lease from home, sell their leases, get bids from banks, credit unions. Everything's in there, and you can get it for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. While you're on the broadcast, go to my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast. Grab your 75% off. It'll be in your inbox in minutes. All of this is in there. If you're on Facebook, go to deshonsbook.com, click the link, or if you're on YouTube, scan the QR code, whatever you need to do. Instagram, it's in my bio. Get your 75% off so you can use this stuff and you don't pay the normal $97 for the price. So the reason why you don't know if they're giving you the real price, quite honestly, you could walk in and you say, hey, I got the Costco pricing. And they say, well, your price is $42,000. They just make up a price. Some people will. Or if they have $2,000 in rebates you don't know about, they'll give you the price and hold the rebates back. What's the solution to this, Deshone? You stay at home and you get multiple offers. And when you tell them everything you qualify for, you are going to get multiple offers. I teach 2 ways to do this. Really, I teach 1 way. It's in my book. I do it online. But if you're not going to get the book, here's how you could do it manually. You get 1 price from 1 dealer. You test drive. Once you find a car you love, you get 1 price and you say, okay. And I wouldn't even get that price while I'm there. Y'all know my rule of thumb. How many minutes do we spend in a car dealership? Let's see how many people know. How many minutes do we spend in the car dealership? Maximum, absolute maximum. And this includes our test drive. Let's see. Anybody know? Let me see. We might have all brand new people on here. We might have a bunch of people on here that's on here for the first time with me. So I don't want to make any assumption. Answer is 30 minutes. We are never spent. You got it, Chris. I see you, Chris. Leashes in motion, 10. Listen, we're not to 10 yet. Quite actually, if you're getting your car, if you're buying a new car and the dealer delivers it, you could spend 10, but I don't want you to rush your test drive. So that's the only reason I don't say 10. On new cars, you must test drive the car before you get offers. On used cars, you do it after. But so back to the way you're going to get the best deal. Back to the way you're going to make sure you get the best price. You tell the deal, you test drive that car, you come on home and you call the dealer and say, hey, thanks for the test drive. Can you get me an offer on that? You give them everything they need to give you an offer, not your credit. Follow me. There is no one who needs your credit to give you an offer. If they tell you that, they're lying. And hang up and go to the next dealer. Because what you're going to do is you're going to be calling multiple dealers asking for the sales manager. Just tell them, hey, I'm looking at this car. I like it. I'm going to give you all the detail. If you could give me an offer, I'm ready to make a decision right now. You do that with 5 sales managers and you'll see how different the prices are. It's going to blow your mind. You won't believe. And it'll expose how overpriced some dealers are. Now, in the book, what I teach is a strategy called the 25-to-5 strategy, where we connect with 25 dealers online in 20 minutes. Deshone, it sounds crazy. It's not crazy when you go to their website and you copy and paste what I give you to copy and paste. It's very simple. So we're copying and pasting. And then out of that 25, what we've seen This only, listen, y'all, this is not for used cars. Different strategy for used cars. What we've seen is for new cars and leases, 25 dealers, about 10 to 12 are going to have a car you're looking for. It's good for you because when you're shopping out of that many dealers' inventory, you don't have to worry about, oh, no one has the car. I went to this one dealer, he didn't have what I want. I went to this one, he didn't have. When you're shopping out of 25, oh, probably about 10 are going to have something you want. And your goal is to get 5 offers. So we go 25 connections, 5 offers, and out of those 5, somebody's going to win the bid and blow everybody else away. And when you see it, you're going to say, dag, even with my Costco discount, that dealership was trying to rip me off. Even with my special pricing, those 2 dealers was trying to overcharge me. Those 3 dealers were trying to overcharge me. The only way you can see this is by looking at multiple offers. All right. Let's go. All right. We got a lot of questions coming in. Let's go to Instagram. Hold on. I'm thinking about trading in my BMW X2 on a lease for a Tesla Model Y. Would you recommend trading the BMW in on a lease or selling it to another party like CarMax as an example? So you can't trade a lease in. You can only sell it. You can't end the lease early. You signed a contract saying I'm going to pay 36 months of payments, or 39, never 48. That's paying. Why don't we do 48-month leases? We're paying too long on a car we're giving back. It's too many payments for a car you're giving back. You eliminate. The goal for a lease is to pay pennies on the dollar for the car you're driving, drive a phenomenal car for a very low monthly payment. Once we give them the 4-year leases, we can't do that anymore. It's too long. So the only way to get out of a lease early is to sell it, which means you're going to do what I call the equity assessment. This is step 2 in our process. It's a 7-step process. Step 7 is delivery. Step 2, equity assessment. I need to find out how much I owe. I call my bank. I get my payoff. And then I go to the online car buying sites, CarMax. This takes 20 minutes. Nothing, just so y'all know, my whole car buying process of getting below market deals, I'm not going to spend more than 60 minutes. Now, I'm a master at this, but even the people I've taught, it's an hour and a half from home. This is quick. By the time somebody's visiting your second dealer, we've already got our best deal. We're not spending hours shopping for cars. Not once we decide what we want. But so you call, you get your payoff from your bank, and then you visit CarMax. You get an offer from them. If you're leasing, you must put when they ask you, are you leasing? Do you own it? Or are you financing? You must put own. Okay, I'll explain that later, but you must put own. You don't want to trigger something on their website. You need to find out what these companies will pay you in cash for your vehicle so you can figure out, can you sell it and get out clean, or can you sell it and possibly make a profit? People have made lots of money selling leases, especially in the last 3 years. But even now, people are still making $2,000, $3,000. So what you do is you get those offers: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation Sell My Car, and there's one more, Car Guru Sell My Car. And if you see that all those offers are higher than your payoff, you can get out. If those offers are lower, you're going to pay to get out, which means, and most people are going to say, no, I don't want to lose money to get out. So that's what you need to do before you decide to make a move. Where do we get a copy and paste link from? Terry, that's all in my book. All my scripts are in there, all my templates, everything is in my book. You're not talking when you use my stuff. You're either only talking to managers or you're using my copy and paste templates. We're not talking to salespeople ever, because who'll be honest, who's not a good negotiator? Type me if you are not a good negotiator. Be honest, we're not judging anybody on here. We are actually getting to we're going to make sure you win. But all right, so Dominic, not a good negotiator. Look, Bawala, okay. Rachel, not a good negotiator. Look, Danielle, not a good negotiator. Look, seven. I don't want to mess your Instagram. All right, so we got lots of people on here that are not good negotiators. So in order for you to win, here's what you're going to master. You could do it my way, you could do it your way, but here's what you need to do. Instead of going 1-to-1, which is a losing battle, I can negotiate. I would never do 1-to-1 because it eliminates my ability to shop the whole market. Here's how you save thousands of dollars when you're a bad negotiator or a good negotiator. You must master the art of multiple offers. See, when you put multiple people against each other, you're not negotiating with them. They're negotiating really with each other. Who's going to win? And you'll find that you'll save thousands of dollars way quicker than you could ever have going back and forth with one dealer. So you want to make sure that you are using multiple offers in everything that you that you do. And that's what my system is about. Now you could do it your way or you could do it my way as long as you do it. Just don't do the old way. That one-on-one is a losing battle because you always leave hoping you did okay. You always leave wondering, could I have gotten some more money? With multiple offers, you never. And that's how you buy everything else. If you think about it, that's how you buy TVs. That's how you buy groceries. That's how you buy anything. It's always multiple offers, and then you pick the best one. That's how we don't have any buyer's remorse. All right, this is YouTube. Reem, I have a 2019 1500 for about a year. Chevy 1500 for about a year and some change, 700 a month with alpha warranty. I'm thinking about leasing. I have about 30K left. What should I do? Always equity assessment. Do the equity assessment. That's going to tell you, listen, when you figure out you got 10 grand of negative equity, you're going to park it real quick because you can only do 3 things if you have negative equity. 2 will get you a new car, 1 doesn't. There's only 2 people who can't get a new car. One is super bad credit. You need to wait. You don't need to make a move if your credit's so bad you're going to destroy yourself by making a move. Now, the second person, these are the only 2 times I see people who want cars who don't leave with cars. Second person, you could have an 800 score. If you have 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 negative equity, you can't go and do a no money. You can't put that type of money on your next car because you have to take into account the loan to value ratio. So you can't buy a $40,000 car and just slap 15 grand of negative equity on that. The bank's not going to approve it. You would have to get a great discount off that car through multiple offers and rebates. There's certain brands out there that have big, huge rebates. If you're looking at one of them, maybe you save 7 grand, 8 grand, 10 grand, and then you can slap that negative equity. But that's why before you ever, if you sitting there and you're like, man, you know what? I think I want to lease or I think I want to switch my car. It's always an equity assessment. I need to know, can I make money selling this car right now? Or am I in a negative position? In which case I gotta chill out. Now, if you got a small amount of negative equity, you might just want to pay the difference. Always sell to the highest bidder. Get all those offers I talked about from the online companies. And if there's $1,000 or $2,000 shortfall, just pay the difference so you could do a clean deal. But if not, then you have to transfer that. Transferring it is more difficult because now a dealer's not going to pay you what those companies are going to pay you, especially not a dealer who's going to win the bid. See, your favorite word working with me is going to be bids. Everyone must win the bid. So when that car you're shopping for, whatever dealer wins the bid, that means they beat every other dealer. They're not going to turn around and pay you the same price CarMax offered you for your car. They can only pay what it's worth to them, which means if you had negative equity over here going with CarMax, it's going to be more going with a dealer. But that's just what you have to deal with. That's why, y'all, I want you to get out of negative equity and stay out of it. It really does make your deals not impossible. We do them all day long, but it does make it more difficult. All right, let's go. Let's keep them coming. Hold on, let me go to my window. Should I buy a new car or CPO? That depends on budget, Valerie. That's always the question. If you can afford both, if you guys can get a car, anybody who wants to, you're buying a car and you're going to keep it long term, y'all know my rule. How many years should you be keeping your car minimum if you're buying? I'm sure we got a couple people in here who knows the rule. If you are purchasing a car, what's the minimum number of years? All right, Danny, good job. 8. So because the reason it's 8, I see, man, I got a lot of people, y'all getting quick. It's the reason it's 8 is because at 8, you've outlived the depreciation drop. Your biggest expense when you're buying a car is the one you can't see. It's depreciation. You're losing thousands of dollars whether you drive the vehicle or not. If you drive it, you lose more. If you're a high mileage driver, you lose even more in depreciation. So you want to make sure that you outlive that, or you shouldn't buy. The only way to outlive it is you got to get to that 8-year mark. Now, if you're not keeping it, if you're like Deshone, I'm not keeping the car 8 years. then you should be shopping for an aggressive lease offer, a great lease deal, not a regular lease deal, not these deals that say, oh, you need money down, an aggressive lease deal. So once you do that, you'll be able to, now hold on. I got so into that, I lost the question. Oh yeah. So CPO, Valerie was asking, should I buy a new car CPO? So if you're buying and you're keeping, the only question to ask is, what is my budget? If I could afford it, let's say Deshone, I could afford both. Okay. I have two things in my book to help you make this decision. If you are only buying a new car every 8 to 10 to 12 years, maybe you want a new car. That's fine. You won't lose. Some people say, Deshone, even if I'm buying a new car, I mean, even if I only buy a new car every decade, I still want even more value. I'm gonna get a pre-owned one. That's fine too. That's a personal preference. If you could afford both, then it comes down to personal preference. All right. Only other option would be to buy one direct from auction. You can. That's a professional's game. I don't talk to the public, you guys, about going into auctions. That's a professional's game. It's like if we were buying houses, I wouldn't be talking to y'all about foreclosures. That's a group, for small group, it'd be like 30, 40 of us, and all we do is buy cars from the auction. Nah, that's a professional's game. You could lose your shirt, but you could also, when you learn that game, you could also get some deals, but it's a risky business. All right, to everybody who just jumped on, welcome. If you don't know, my brand new book, my digital book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's everything I teach in one place. It's what I've used to help thousands of people around the country now. I've been blessed to help thousands of people around the country like you get ridiculous deals. Like, take a look at this one here. Give an example, and then we'll get to some more questions. So this is a deal most people are not going to. Now, let's see. What I like about Bonita here, look at the year, y'all. That was 2022. Now, she got her Kia Telluride, 2022. You know what people were paying for Kia Telluride in 2022? Dangerous. She leased that vehicle. She got it for $600 a month, and look at her. She said, I put $600 down. That's it. Gave them $600, drove off. People were leasing that same vehicle for $900 a month. People were paying $1,100 a month to own these vehicles, putting ridiculous money down. She came in, got a dealer, won the bid, drove off in 600. So, and I show you that because while people were out here and there was blood in the streets, some of you may have made some bad deals during the pandemic. We were winning. We've been making deals since 2021. So just know, if we were getting killer deals back then, what do you think we're getting now? Now we got people like Greg. He got $527 a month on a $56,000 Kia EV6 win. Tope got $690 a month on a $54,000 BMW i4 e-drive. So this is what we do, y'all. Like, I am the deal maker, but bigger than me, I love the fact I can teach it. See, y'all know, Deshone, obviously you can make deals, but can the people who learn from you get that's the same. These are the same deals I would be making, because my system is like McDonald's. As long as you don't deviate from it, you just listen to what I'm telling you and move like I'm telling you, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. All right. And I've been able to work with enough people around the country to know that. All right, let's keep it going. Let's get back to the questions. Of course, we teach about negative equity, Dominic. That's a big part of a lot of people who are coming to me and saying, yo, Deshone, I've been buying for years. I got told I should never lease. Always got negative equity. I see what the problem is, man. I believe some bad information. Now I want to get into leasing. So some people are going to have negative equity and they're going to need to switch that over to a lease. Absolutely. All the time. No, the book is for everything, Hockey. That it's leasing, it's everything. See, it's high mileage drivers. How many high mileage drivers we got on here? Let's say you drive over 20,000 miles a year. Just type HM. I always tell high mileage drivers, type HM. It's for you too. I got 3 strategies in there for high mileage drivers. One's a long-term strategy. That means you're going to buy a car, keep it 8+ years, and then 2 are for short term. If you're not keeping your cars 8+ years, you need to have leasing as part of your strategy, either a high mileage lease or something I call 2 cars, 1 car payment, where you can measure it, where you can balance it out. So in order for me to help the public, in order for me to help you, I got to have something in that book no matter what your situation is. And that's why it's a digital book, because it links you. Y'all remember Mario Brothers? Remember the warp zones? The book is like warp zones. So you'll get to a point when I ask you, if you're buying and you're keeping your next car 8 years, click this, and then it'll warp you to a section of the book that keep you on that path. If you're buying and you're keeping less than 8 years, click here and it'll warp you to that. And that's all throughout the book. That way you're never reading something that's not applicable to you. You're not sitting there reading like, oh, this section isn't for me. It's a path for you. All right. So you can get it for 75% off. Normal price is $97. It's worth thousands. And my goal is for it to be the most valuable book you ever bought, or at least one of them. But if you can get it before the timer runs out, you can get it for 75% off. So just click my TikTok bio, click the picture, go to my Instagram bio, click that link, and grab your 75% off. If you're on Facebook, just click the link that says deshonsbook.com and grab your 75% off. All right, let's go. Oh, thanks, Valerie. Enjoy it. Make sure you send me your success story too. Yes, I'm in New Jersey. Yep, absolutely. I want to lease this time, short term. Good. That's what we want. That's what we want. Just know who you are and put your deal on the right foundation. All right, let's go to Instagram. Let's see. All right. Deshone, I got a 24 Explorer online price. Oh no, looking at a 24 Explorer, online price is 38 grand, but 23 is 37 grand. How much lower can I go on the 23s? They're trying to get rid of. Thanks in advance. So if the car is the same and you are buying it, I'd get multiple bids and I just go to 25. I'd get 5 offers, because that dealer that's holding on to the 23 that you see, when you connect with 25 dealers, you're going to see that maybe out of that 25, maybe 7 of them have a 23 they want to move. And one of them is willing to blow it out like crazy. That's how Kimberly, some of you saw Kimberly's post. She saved 20 grand on her Maserati. She just got this. Look at the date. This was February 21st of 2024. She saved 20 grand. Why? Because she reached out to 25 dealers. One of them had a Maserati that she wanted. It was a 23, and they took off 20 grand for it because they wanted to move the car. She ended up getting it right here. This is it. And that, in fact, she got a different one, because that dealer that wanted to take off 20 grand, a dealer closer said, all right, I'll beat that offer. And she ended up getting this one. But if you connect with enough dealers, then you'll find that dealer who's like, listen, I really got to move that 23. You might be talking to a dealer right now that has that 23, but they're not desperate enough yet. They're not hurting enough yet. You want a dealer that you can connect with, and they look and say, man, we need to move this 23 because we don't want to be stuck with it. So that's why it's always about multiple offers. I don't ever listen, don't ever ask me about one car. Deshone, man, I'm looking at this car. How do I get them down? That's not what I teach. You're out leveraged. All the power's in their hands. You talk to me about, Deshone, these are my top 3, 4 cars. Deshone, this is my top offers. It's always multiple offers. And that's the only way I could talk to you. I can't mix my system, which is water, clean, smooth, crystal, refreshing, beautiful, uplifting. Like, that's my system. I can't mix that with oil, this old way you shop, which is 1-to-1. And, I just like that one car. Let me get them down. No. That car, there's plenty duplicates of that car. And what you need to do is you need to be in a position where you can see those duplicates and you can see who's going to sell it for the most. That makes sense? If that makes sense, everybody type a 1. If y'all clear on that, that's the difference between negotiating 1-to-1 and negotiating 1-to-many. 1-to-many is getting bids. 1-to-1 is old, traditional, out leverage, buyer's remorse. Always wonder if I could have paid more. Could have paid less. We don't do that. My pleasure, Reem. I see you. All right, let's go. Let's keep the questions coming. How do you get multiple bids? I said that earlier, Anna. You could do it my way, which is in my book. I connect with 25 dealers online. We let them know what we want, and then you use all my scripts to keep the emails moving and keep it on your agenda. If you're not going to use my book, which is in my TikTok bio, 75% off, you could download it. It'll be in your inbox in 3 minutes. Then what you need to do is find the car you want, come home, call at least 5 local dealers, ask for the sales manager, and you need to get offers from the sales manager. I would only speak to the sales manager. And this will only work until a lot of people start doing it. because after a while, people are gonna be, yo, why is all of a sudden all these people calling asking for the sales manager? So, that what I teach is unlimited. 8,000 people can do it, and we're never gonna, it's not gonna mean anything. This whole calling the sales manager thing, that's going to get eventually, if hundreds and hundreds of people are doing it, they're going to eventually start screening the calls and saying, all right, what's it in reference to? And so you could use it now. That's what I call the manual way. But those are the two ways to get multiple offers that I know of. If you could figure another way, do it. But my way is the easiest, because my way takes 20 minutes, and you're sitting in your living room or you're sitting at work, and all these companies bidding for your business. All right, let's go to all right, so we got questions on every platform. All right, hold on. What credit limit do you need to lease a car? Is it easier to lease or buy with a 680 score with $5,000 down on a used Audi? See how you've locked into one car? Now, if you're talking about any used Audi, but as long as you're not talking about like one used Audi you saw, and the rule of thumb growing is, if you're keeping the car 8 years, you buy. If you're not, you lease. So you got to get out of where you are, which is, all right, should I buy this used Audi or should I lease? The question is, how many years am I keeping the next car? That's what you ask yourself. Everybody on here, answer that question. The next car you're shopping for, how many years are you keeping it? How many years are you keeping it? And everybody tag one person, or I'm telling you, they're going to be mad at you. They're going to listen. If you don't think your friends are going to find out a year from now when they tell you, man, I made this stupid car deal and it is like, I can't get out of it. And you say, man, you listen to this guy, Deshone, the auto advisor, and no, I don't know him. You got to go follow him. Oh, and then they find out you've been on these live shows and you ain't tag them, you ain't tell them, you ain't share the video with them. You might lose a friend. So tag one person that you care about. All right, 3 to 4 years. I see. Okay, nope, that's not the question, Celeste. You can't say depends on how many years it's going to hold up. When you set the amount of years as the goal, then everything after that is to make sure the vehicle you purchase will last that long. See, if you go in to purchase a vehicle and say, well, I hope if it lasts 8 years, if it lasts 10 years, I'll keep it that long. Chances are it won't. But if you say, you know what, I want to be a long-term person, I don't need to switch cars every 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I can keep a car 8 years, 10 years. I'm fine with that. Then that means everything you do after that, you could use my process, because I'm going to make sure you buy a quality car that will last that long under your budget. But you have to set the goal. You must set the goal. So let's get out of the gray area and set the goal. Deshone, I'm not a long-term person. I only want to keep this car 6 years max. Perfect. All right. Let's go. 2 years. Okay. 2 years. That's going to be, it's not really any car that you can get that you can keep for 2 years and not lose money. You're losing too much value. You lose 20% the first year. The moment you buy it, you lose 20%. And then the next year, you're going to probably lose 15%. It's not many things in this world you can buy, lose 35% of what you paid for it, and then go and sell it. And that's the same way when you go out to year 3, year 4. That's why we say you don't sell a car or replace a car you bought until 8 years. Because anywhere before that, you're losing too much value compared to someone who's leasing. But 2 years, you got to find something that you can keep for at least 3, and then you lease. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When you shop, see, when y'all learn to shop without, you use what I'm telling you, you should be test driving new cars and leases, and no one's rushing you. You're in here, and look, we need to bring the people who are listening to me, you're going to have fun shopping for your new cars and your leases. You're going to have fun going into dealerships, test driving, knowing you're not buying in the dealership. So I'm here to test drive. and you can enjoy a weekend of test driving to decide what you want. It's a real fun experience when you go to one dealer Saturday morning and you test drive and you're like, okay, now let's go see that competitor car because we're trying to narrow it down to our top choices. And you're test driving, and hey, can we talk to you? Can we just show you the deals? No, no, thank you. Let me get your car. We got some other cars to drive. That's power. That's fun. That's like the kids. If the kids are with you, they'll enjoy that. You know what the kids don't enjoy? Daddy, you told us we were going to drive 3 cars today. Why are you spending all this time? You're sitting at the desk with the salesman. You don't know. My son, no, I'm making a deal. Daddy's trying to make a good deal. You ruined it. Even your kids could tell you that was wrong. This is wrong. Dad, we're supposed to be seeing what the family wants. That's shopping. So I want y'all to get in. When you get into that, you'll find something. All these cars out here, there's 40 some odd companies making cars. There's probably 500, 600 different choices. Every category, you got probably 10, 15 cars that would suit your needs. You get out and you drive some of them. You will find something that you actually love enough to lease it and keep it 3 years. The reason why people want to get rid of cars in a year because they rush their shopping process. They rush the shopping process, got the vehicle, find out, 3 months in, you know what, I don't really like this. You rush the shopping process. That's why step 4 of my book, I got a whole step. It's called shopping, not buying. Shopping, not buying. and we're not going to mix those two terms. Shopping is deciding what we want. Once we decide what we want, we come home and we buy it. Papa Bear, you with me? Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's keep the questions coming on YouTube and Facebook. All right, we're bringing questions from every platform. So being pre-approved makes it easier for them to let you test drive. Look at that. That's a shame. Let you test drive? You kidding me? I'm here. In my book, I teach you how to call the dealership. Hey, my name is such and such. I teach you how to I like to ask for the best salesman there because that's the only time you're going to work with a salesman is on a test drive. Hey, do you have a such and such that I can come in and drive? Okay, perfect. When can I come in? Oh, okay. I'll see you then. That's it. I'm here to test drive. Anything else they took. Now, we don't do this with used cars. You cannot test drive a used car. This is for new cars and leases. Used cars, you're not going to test drive that car until you found your deal online. And that's the last step before you shake the person's hand and say, I'll take it. Because if other than that, you're going to waste a ton of time test driving cars that you end up not buying. But when it comes to new cars and leases, let us test drive. Please, we're about to make a $50,000 transaction. You owe me a test drive. So no, listen, you're dealing with the wrong people. And you could have called the wrong salesman. When I say you're dealing with the wrong people, you literally, it's the small things that matter. When we call for a test drive, we're asking for the best salesman there. Who's a salesman that everyone knows, everyone loves? Oh, that's Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing? I'd like to come and test drive that Nissan Rogue. What day is you there? Oh, I'll be here. All right, perfect. If you get the new dude on the block, little Nelson, who over there, and he don't care about lying or nothing, and yeah, he gonna make your life. Oh, we need bring your license, and we need to run your credit before test drive. These little details, I promise you, they matter. I've been on the inside. I seen little Nelson. Dude gets fired in 90 days. Little Nelson over there. What happened to Nelson? You knew he was going to get fired. But what's happening in that 90 days? Dude is doing damage. Dude is doing damage. All right. Bruno, YouTube said, I bought an Acura MDX 2020. I owe $27,000 in a loan. I got offers around 17, 18. What should I do with this negative equity? We talked about that earlier. Only thing you can do is you want a new car. Is you could, if those are your highest offers from CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, those are the highest offers we're gonna get in most cases. So if you might say, okay, if you could pay the difference, that's the best way to go. So if there's like a $1,500 shortfall, you are much better off paying that $1,500 and getting out of that and doing a clean deal. Because if you can't do that, now that car has to be traded in with the dealer that you end up buying the car from. That's what has to happen. So That's the first route. If you can cover the difference, that's what you want to do. Shop for your car, get your best offer, and then just sell it to whoever made you the highest offer and pay the difference. And then you could do your other deal with no money down. So if it's a matter of, oh, I only got 1,500 and it's a $1,500 gap, I would pay off the negative equity and sell to a CarMax or sell to an auto all day long. It's going to make your life a million times easier and your transaction a million times easier. All right. My husband ran into something when we got our car service. Wait, you gotta do one full question. Unless y'all are talking amongst each other. I love that. Talk amongst each other. Y'all be in here having conversation. But if you're asking me a question, it has to be in one question. Look at Vicky. Vicky came on here and said never lease. Look, we got old Vicky on the line here. See, people come in and they're confidently incorrect. You got to be very, very careful, y'all. These people have cost you money for years. Vicky on Instagram, listen, you don't know enough. You don't realize how much you've cost your friend. Now, you might say, Deshone, Vicky might be saying, Deshone, I hear what you're saying about buying cars and keeping them 8 years. I'm not going to lease. I buy my cars and I drive them till the wheels fall off. And so, I'm never going to lease. Yep, you're good, Vicky. But what about your family? Yeah, what about your daughters? What about your sons? What about your husband? What about all these people who you're talking to and you just brought, oh, never lease. And they tell you, but Ma, I only want to keep my car like 3 years anyway. Don't lease it. You have no idea how many thousands you are costing them. And the sad part is you're not willing to learn. You learn from people who teach you to talk big, but you are what I call confidently incorrect. And that's a dangerous combination. All right, Corey, I want to lease a car. What are the most important things to consider? Multiple offers. Multiple offers. Listen, multiple offers are going to shock y'all. When y'all see how different these offers are. See, we don't have relationships. There's no relationships in what we do. I know if you used to go to the barbecue with your car salesman and he sold you 5 cars and he's been selling your family car for 30 years, he sold your father cars and your grandfather cars, and you just but that's going to change when you start making him bid for your business. I don't have a problem giving you the business, Charlie, but you need to bid. And if you win the bid, great. You need to earn the business. I'm not just giving you the business where you could just charge me whatever you think is fair. I'm going to shop the open market. And if you win, Charlie, you got our business. In fact, if your dealership really likes us, they can beat pretty much any offer if they want to. But what you're going to see sometimes is Charlie ain't going to beat the bid. Charlie might not even want to play your game. And you know what? If that's the way you want to be, then, our relationship is over. Well, Charlie, sorry to hear that. But I got to do what's best for my bank account. All right. Let's see. Confidently wrong. That's right. I'm from Harlem, right across the bridge. Do you have one-on-one consultation? I don't. No. I have a book. Anybody who wants the book, it's 75% off. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox. You could use everything I teach from leasing, buying. Every strategy is in there. High mileage drivers, selling leases, the getting banks to bid for your business and credit unions. Everything's in there. Buying from home, my scripts, my template. I even link you to some of the videos in what I call the Cars from Home library, because I have a video version of my book. It's called the Cars from Home University Library. I link you to some of those videos for some subjects that might be a little more complex. I just say, hey, if you prefer to watch this 7-minute video, click here. So you'll be able to see that. And then I have, and I have some people that I coach, but I don't do one-on-ones because we can get results for groups. I don't have to do one-on-ones. Like, I help hundreds and hundreds of people buy cars at the same time. If I couldn't do that, then I wouldn't be doing it. Okay. Any suggestions on buying if paying cash? I just got the book. I was thinking I need to take a man to look at. Okay, no, you don't need to take a man. You will never need to take. Oh, listen, shout out to her for being honest. She was like, I was thinking I need to take a man to help me. Listen, when you use what's in that book, men will be calling you to do it for them. All right. Hold on. Coach Mikey, the name of the book is Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 Steps to Saving Time, money and avoiding dealerships. Any suggestions if buying a new car for cash? Just get multiple offers. If you're buying a new car for cash, just get multiple offers. And also, don't think. Here's what I want you to understand. So, if you were taught always pay cash for cars, just type $signs. If some of you may have heard this, some of you may have not, but if you have heard you should always pay cash for cars, just type $signs into the comments. Okay? And I'm not telling you paying cash for cars is wrong. Paying cash for cars is right for some people. Okay, let me tell you who paying cash is right for based on who I've encountered. Very wealthy people, very well-off to do people. I've talked to several people when I worked for General Motors and I worked for Mercedes. Y'all know I say it in all my videos: 5 years General Motors, 5 years in 5 years Mercedes Benz. And I would get these very wealthy people, or very financially, they didn't even have to be wealthy. Some of them weren't wealthy, but they had paid off houses, and maybe they were, maybe they were in their 50s, paid off house, blue collar, but you could just tell that they were smart, they were investing, and they could pay cash for the car. They'd be looking at like a Denali, $50,000 back then. Now they're 80. And they like, listen, I'm like, so how are you going to pay for the car? Once we agreed on the price, smart, always agree on the price first. And I say, how you going to pay for the car? They're like, what are the rates? Now, if we had a special rate that month, 0%, 0.99%, 1.99, they'd keep their money invested because that money was making money for them. And then they just use the bank's money at a very low interest. So if you're in that position, if that sounds like, oh, Deshone, that sounds like what I do, then that's what you want to do. Now, if your money's not invested and you're not making it, then you just want to keep things low, keep debt out of the way. I like to keep then pay cash. Another thing people do is but that's for short-term buyers. So I'm assuming if you're purchasing a car, y'all already know you're a long-term person, 8+ years. But you shouldn't be buying a car paying cash and you're only keeping it 3 to 5 years. Because there was another group of people who would always get very aggressive leases, drive these cars for pennies compared to other people, and then they would just keep investing the difference. So while other people were putting thousands of dollars in cars, their lease payments were so low, they would just be investing their surplus money. So it's about knowing this. All right, Deshone, you just laid out 3 different types of people for me. Which one sounds like me? But when you hear people that say, always do this, red flag. And it's just they don't know enough. They're only operating from what they know, and what they know is not enough. And they want to project that onto you and hope. Think like I think. All right, let's go. Do I lease? It depends on if I'm going to keep my next car 8 years or not. I've leased probably 7 cars. Yeah, 6. And we just had an Infinity truck that we bought a year ago because we're going to keep it. So you always ask yourself the question. First question, when you open my book and you get to step 1, or if you ever see any of my videos and I tell you the first thing you do when I want to get a new car, first question is, how many years are you going to keep the next car? I call that the most important question. It's also the first question, because if you choose the wrong strategy, if you purchase, but you should have leased, there's no way for you to get your best deal. You are going to overpay by thousands of dollars because the person who leased is just way ahead of you. You're out here spending all this money, and the person who leased is just paying the little car payment, driving a ridiculously nice car for a very small amount. And it's just so you must put your deal on the right foundation. That's always step 1. Okay, can you drop a link in this video for your book, or do I need to go to Instagram? See if this one works. I don't know if I can pin the comment, but see if that one works. You should be able to click it. See if you can click on where it says deshonsbook.com. All right. Thanks, Growing. Enjoy it. Should I lease? And look, everybody who just jumped on, my new book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. While we're on this broadcast for 30 minutes, it's 75% off. It's normally $97. It's a digital book. It'll be in your inbox in 2-3 minutes. You could use everything I teach on literally mastering the science of purchasing or leasing from home. And it's 75% off. You can get one in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or you can go to deshonesbook.com. All right. When you lease, how many years and by miles is that good? Okay. I think you're asking how many miles is it good to do. It's good. Oh, listen, look, y'all, we can never assume anything. She's asking how many miles is it good to do? The miles you need. In the book, I teach you, and look, you'll notice I'll tell you in the book is this, and then I'll tell you. So it's not like, oh, get the book and you'll find out. I'm about to tell you. So what you do is you need to, I call it choosing your mileage wisely. If you don't choose your mileage wisely, you're going to get penalized. And what most people do when they get penalized is they blame the lease because they took a 10,000 mile a year lease knowing they needed 15. I had somebody come on my YouTube page, y'all. It was one of the most ignorant comments I've ever saw. He said, never take more than 12,000 miles on a lease. Okay. So you're telling me you would tell somebody who drives 18,000 miles a year to take 12,000 miles per year? You're probably the same person that when they go over by 6,000 miles every year, you would tell them to buy the lease, right? Yeah, just bury them. Why don't you just dig a hole, throw them in it, and just throw the dirt on top of them? Be a little better than what you're telling them to do now. You get the mileage you need. If you drive 12,000 miles per year, you do 12. Now, what you do is I have a little exercise. First thing you do is ask yourself, what's my mileage to and from work? Most of your mileage is going to be work. That's why when people were working from home, they literally looked up in 3 years, they had, they put 7,000 miles on their car because they were working from home. You want to ask yourself, how much do I drive to work round trip? If that's, let's say 10 miles a day, round trip is 20. Okay. How many miles, how many days a week? This is how you choose your mileage wisely. Very, very simple to do. Well, the easiest way is to look at your old car. Easiest way, look at what you draw, look at your old car, and then just say, all right, how many miles did I have when I first got it? How many miles am I putting on it a year? If nothing changed, that's the easiest way. Now, let's just say, Deshone, I don't have a car or I can't do that. Okay. Assess your lifestyle. What's my mileage to work? Now, let's get back to that scenario. Let's say you're like, okay, I do 20 miles a day, 10 miles to work, 10 miles back home. I do that 5 days a week. All right. That is 100 miles a week for work. You multiply that by 52 weeks in a year, and you'll see, okay, that's 5,200 miles. Perfect. I'm way under 10. The first threshold for most leases is usually 10,000 miles per year. Some luxury vehicles, some do a 7,500 mile per year lease. But what you want to do is say, okay, now what am I doing for leisure? All right, I go down south. Oh, all right, I take a trip across the country. Okay, I'll do that once a year. I'll probably put another 2,000 miles on doing vacations. Oh, I'll probably do this. So you're just adding it up. One person was like, Deshone, my child's going to college. I'm about to lease. This was somebody in my group. She was like, how do I account for the mileage? Like I'm gonna be visiting them at the college. I said, okay, how many times do you think you're gonna visit them? She said, probably, every 2 months I'll go out there. All right, how far is the trip? Well, 500 miles. Okay, see, we did that math. We just added it up. And she was like, okay, good. I think I need 15,000 miles of work. There you go. So all you do is just assess what you're gonna be doing and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Get the mileage you need. Now, when you shop for your leases, y'all always shop with 12,000 miles. If you need 15, you always shop, get your offers with 12, because the way we judge our offers, we divide the monthly payment they give us into the MSRP, and that gives us a percentage. That's how we came up with the 1% rule. I didn't come up with the 1% rule. I created the 1.5% rule. The 1% rule was created way before I started buying cars. That meant if your lease payment with no money out of pocket was 1% of the MSRP or less, it was a steal. You didn't have to ask any questions, drive off in the car before they changed their mind. Now, if you didn't, now what I saw is people knew about a steal, but they didn't know when it was the other extreme, overpaying. So I started doing some math and I looked at, okay, once you pay above 1.5% on your lease payment, you're paying too much for a car you're giving back to them in 3 years. So my rule of thumb, you'll see it in the book, you'll hear it in my videos, 1% or under is a steal. In between 1% and 1.5%, that's a deal. Over 1.5%, bad value. We pass on those. We pass on those. And in order for you to get your best lease offer, you must shop multiple offers. You must get at least 5 quotes, or you're not going to get the bottom price. Okay. Let's go. Let's go to Instagram for one. We rotating. We got a couple more minutes. Welcome to the new people that just jumped on. Shout out to everybody who's sharing. Thank you to everybody who's giving gifts on TikTok. I appreciate it. Everybody who's sending stars, all of that. The people who support the broadcast, that support the mission, it's 3 ways to do it. You can purchase a book. That's our sponsor. Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, my new digital book. Second way is to share the broadcast or give gifts, whatever you want. But, I appreciate everybody. All right, let's go Instagram. I don't see one over here. I see a lot of people on Instagram, but not too many questions. All right, so let's go. When getting more miles, does your monthly payment go up? Yes, it does. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So you're going to get your offers with 12,000 miles. And once you identify the best offer, you write that dealer. Now, if you're using my way, you're writing them because you're doing by email. If you're using your way, sales manager, you say, okay, can you please adjust the quote for me to 15,000 miles per year? And then you have them adjusted, because at that point, you've sorted through all the garbage dealers, the 80% of dealers that's going to overcharge you, and you found the 20% that are the people we want to do business with. These are awesome people. These are people that hate the 80% as much as we don't like them. Yeah, they wish they weren't in business. These are the people who will literally make buying from home easy. They'll try to beat their competition. They'll give you great price. They're honest. These are the people we are trying to find, but they're sprinkled in the 100,000 used car dealers, and they're sprinkled in the 17,000 new car dealers. So we're not going to find them just walking in the door and hoping, I hope this is a 20% dealer. No. All right, Sen, enjoy it. All right. Is gap insurance a necessity? All right, good question. So gap insurance, if you do no money down deals when you purchase cars, no money down, gap insurance is absolutely necessary. But you should be calling, you should be getting a quote. See if your insurance company can give you a quote. A lot of people didn't know that. You didn't know your insurance company may sell gap insurance. And if your insurance company doesn't sell it, there are companies that sell it, insurance company. You don't have to get it from the dealer. So so here's what you want. If your car is worth, this is what I call insult to injury, because some people will tell you, oh, when you go into that office, the finance manager just don't buy anything. Now that finance manager looks at you and says, listen, you need gap insurance. If you were taught don't buy nothing, you in trouble, because this is what ends up happening when you need a gap and you didn't have it. You leave out of there and your vehicle value is only 25,000. This is an example, but your loan is 30,000. Now you go out there and a week after that, somebody hits you, God forbid, car gets totaled. Your insurance is going to pay off 25, because that's called the actual cash value, or ACV. But that $5,000, the bill's coming to you. I call it insult to injury because you just lost your car. Now you got a bill. Gap insurance. Now, if you are purchasing your car and you are going to be keeping it long term, and you decide, I want to put money down, I want to put 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand down, that's fine. You don't need gap insurance. You only need gap insurance when the value of your car is worth less than your loan, because that you're exposed. If God forbid the vehicle gets totaled, or if the vehicle gets stolen and they don't find it, that bill's coming to you for the gap. All right. And Nav said you need gap insurance for a lease too. Yes. So most leases include gap insurance. One of the things when you use my script in my book, some of y'all are gonna see it. We automatically, when we send them our request for a quote, it automatically says please include gap insurance. Now, most times the person working the lease is gonna say, well, gap insurance is included in every lease. But the reason why you must specify is because it's not included in every lease. And some companies will not tell you until the end. You don't want that. Mazda, every Mazda lease used to include gap insurance. 2021, I think, 2020, they just changed. They took out gap insurance. I think they changed leasing companies. So you need to make sure when you're getting your offers, we are always telling them include gap. Now, if you don't want to remember any of this, you can get the book and it'll be right there for you. But yes, remember that. All right. Or they're going to try to sell it to you later and you don't want any surprises. Yo, I thought I was paying 400. Yeah, but do you want gap? Your payment's going to go up to 419. You need it. So, you know. All right. Let's see. I'm looking to lease a vehicle for my business. Okay, simple. Just follow the same process, get your best offer, and then when they ask you, all right, whose name is the vehicle going in? I'm going to put in my business name, and then I'm going to sign for as the personal guarantor. The shopping process is exactly the same. And in fact, if you don't have a shopping process, you will put an overpriced vehicle or a vehicle you overpaid for in your business name. That's not a good thing for the business. How do I talk down out the door price? Multiple offers. You missed what we were talking about. We've been talking about multiple offers, multiple offers, multiple offers. When you get multiple offers, you're going to see you save thousands of dollars without even trying. When you get one offer or when you look at one car that you like and try to talk them down, not realizing this same car I'm looking at, there's 50 of them within a 200 miles of me. See, you got to think like that. And I think a lot of you are. You've been seeing the broadcast. You've seen a lot of you now are really seeing there's 65 million cars a year. So there's millions of cars around. Every car you see that blue Honda. Oh, I like that. There's 100 of them in the state. So when you look at it like that, you're less emotionally involved in one vehicle. When you get emotionally involved in one vehicle, just picture like money just leaving your household. Just picture like just somebody coming into your bank account and just snatching money. You're emotionally involved in one vehicle. When you step back, you're keeping all the money in your household and you're going to have all of these people who have a car you like. Well, I'm going to look at all the options and I'm going to see which one saves me the most money. It's very empowering. Very empowering. A lot of you going to realize this is going to be your most empowered car deal. You've hated it. You're like, man, that's why the name of the book, my digital book, is Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. When you use these strategies, everything we're talking about, you are going to see this is empowered car buying. Like, I never thought I'd enjoy car shopping. I never thought I'd be like empowered, but you're learning from somebody who was on the inside. So I know all the tricks. These dudes look at me and say, man, you couldn't make it in the car business, huh? You really think the car business is hard to make it in? Come on, stop it. Johnny, he was 18 years old. He just walked in off the street with a nice smile. He's sitting next to you at the desk. Come on, it's not hard to get into this business. So, but I got tired of seeing people like you get overcharged. And I said, okay, we got to do something about this. Like, somebody has to teach, and you can't teach being a car salesman. No car salesman who works for a car company can teach you how to do this. Why? Because you can't, if they're teaching you how to get your best offer, they're always going to tell you shop multiple dealers. So it's counterintuitive to them. I'm not going to tell you shop multiple dealers if I'm trying to sell you something. But what's weird is I used to do that. People will tell you, my friends who know me, they call me D. Yo, you looking for, I see you got this used Mercedes, man. No, matter of fact, I'll give you a good example. My man called me, he was like, D, man, and this dude's a firefighter, got tons of money. He was like, man, I want to buy a GL. And man, I'm only gonna buy it from you. But I don't want to get a new one because I'm gonna keep it and I want to get it. I said, all right, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna sound crazy. If I don't have the best price used car, I'm gonna tell you to go buy it from somebody else who does. Because I'm not gonna put you in a used GL, and I know it's a GL out there that is 4,000, 5,000 less than mine. So at the time I didn't have one. He called me. He called me like a couple weeks later. He said, Deshone, he said, D, I'm looking at this GL in Pennsylvania, man. It's the last one they got. It's a leftover. They take it. He told me the price. They were taking off like 14,000 for him off a brand new one. So because he ended up saying I wanted to get a new one. I told him, I said, I got a new one, but that's a better deal, bro. Take that deal. See, that's why my managers had a problem with me sometimes, because I'm telling people Come back and see me in 3 months. You're not ready like that. Like, no car salesman, unless they're willing to like just not care about selling a car today, they're not going to tell you to get multiple offers. But when you get multiple offers, that's how you save all the money. All the money. So you must get it. And when you do it, you'll never go back to the old way again. You can see it's too much money. You're going to see how much money I've been missing all these years. All right, y'all. We're going to jump off. This was good. You know, it's tons of questions. We could do this for hours and hours, but we've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I appreciate everybody who shared. Use this information. Don't go back to the old way of car buying, car shopping. Don't do it. It's already cost you. It's already cost you. You can't get back the money you lost dropping off your leases instead of doing your equity assessment to see if you could have sold them. You can't get that money back. You can't get back the money you overpaid on these cars. But what you can do is change what you're going to do moving forward. If you change what you're going to do, that's all we can control. We're not going to cry over the past. All we're going to do is change what we're doing now. So if you want everything I teach in one place, grab my new digital book in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. If you're like Deshone, that is me. I hate it. Then you are going to love this book. It'll be in your inbox in a few minutes, and it's 75% off. So if you go to that bio, as long as the timer is not at 0, you get it for 75% off, and it's everything in there, everything you're going to need. High mileage driving, leasing, purchasing, buying used cars, buying new cars, extended warranties, tire and wheel, everything is in there. And you'll have it in one spot. So the book is normally $97, but if you go get it now, you can get it for 75% off. All right. I don't see the book on YouTube. Here you go, Reem. Let me know if you see this. Let me know if you see this link. That comment that I just posted. Let me know if you can click that link, or you go to deshonesbook.com. I didn't have the banner up. And some of you may be watching like you might be watching on a TV. If you're watching on YouTube, you could just scan that QR code with your mobile phone and it'll take you to it. All right, so get your 75% off, and I will see y'all on the next live. We'll keep this going. Just make sure that you are telling everybody you know. You're going to run into somebody that's shopping for a car. You can't go outside of your house without tripping over somebody who's shopping for a car. Make sure you tell them, are you following Deshone? If not, they could be in trouble. And really, when you learn and you start doing this, you're going to tell them you are in trouble. Because if they're shopping that old way, they're in trouble. First one's from Facebook. We're taking questions from every platform, but this is Facebook. I have a 2018 MDX, 60,000 miles on it. Live in a small town. There are 2 recalls going on for the transmission and fuel pump. I can get one crankshaft done this week and looking to sell the car. Feels like it's a lemon and have other cars. Well, I mean, a recall is not necessarily doesn't necessarily make it a bad car. So if you're experiencing issues, then that's different. But you know, a recall, a lemon is when the same thing keeps going wrong, when it goes wrong 3 times. So I mean, don't always take a recall as it means it's a bad car. I mean, these cars are built, computers, things go wrong. Key is recall comes in, they fix them, and I mean, tons of cars have had recalls. Doesn't mean it's a reason to get rid of the car. 60,000 miles on an MDX, you know, that's not a reason to get rid of the car. Now, if you secretly want to get rid of the car, that's a different story. All right, this is TikTok. Best way to buy an E-Class right now, new or used. You got to figure out whether you're leasing or purchasing. If you're leasing, you know, you got to go deeper. And what I always say, we always teach, if you've been on a broadcast with us before, if this is your first time on a live with us, type 1. If this is your first time on a live with us, type 1. I want to see how many. All right, we got a lot of people typing 1. Okay, so something that we talk about that you'll learn is if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you should be leasing. It's not even a question. you know, and I'll prove that to you over the show. Some people who've been on here, who've been learning from me and learning about the math, have known that. But and I don't care what you were taught. You know, if you stay around long enough, you'll find out that what you were taught has cost you a lot of money. And so that's the first question: is if you, when you say best way to buy an E-Class, you need to determine how long you're keeping it, because you need to see if you're going to outlive the depreciation. And that's for long-term people, 8, 10, 12 years. So if you're keeping it 8+ years, then you should be buying. If you're not keeping it 8 years, then you should be shopping for a great aggressive lease on an E-Class, getting multiple offers. We get at least 5. We will never buy a car. If someone learns from me and you use my stuff, we will never buy a car without getting 5 offers, because they're going to be $3,000 to $5,000 different between the offers minimum. This one's Instagram. I was told put a $500 deposit for a BMW I built. Do you agree? Well, there's 2 things there. And I always say, y'all, as y'all tap in, someone's going to ask the same question you have. No matter what you think your situation is, there are lots of other people in the exact same situation. So you're going to most likely hear someone ask the same exact question that you wanted to ask. So $500, a deposit on a vehicle is very normal. Could y'all keep tapping the screen on TikTok, keep running the likes up? I appreciate y'all. But what you need to know when you're ordering a car is you need to make sure that you have negotiated your price up front. You need to make sure that you've gotten the best offer up front. And we always add to every order that any rebates that may apply when the vehicle comes in come to us as the customer. You cannot negotiate once the vehicle comes in. You've lost all your leverage. The time to negotiate with an order is before you sign an order. And again, we always get 5 offers because you just don't know who you're dealing with. And one dealer is always going to beat their competition when you start getting multiple offers. Okay, can you trade into a lease? Great question. Yes, many of you will find out. This one's from YouTube. So just keep typing your questions, y'all, and we'll get to as many as we can in the hour. Can you trade into a lease? So yes, many of you who found out, Deshone, I should have been leasing a long time ago. I'm not keeping my cars 8 years. And I'm in a finance now, or I have a car that I own. Many of you, your strategy is going to be to trade into a lease. For sure. You're going to sell. And listen, I want you to eliminate that word. We don't use the word trade. Now, if you have negative equity, in the last broadcast, one of the things I talk about is negative equity. If you can't pay the difference and sell to the highest bidder, you now have to do that deal with the dealer that you are going to buy your car from, who wins the bid. But everything we teach is a bid. So that's the only situation really where we are giving our old car and bringing it into the new transaction. That's why negative equity limits you. So if you have negative equity, I call it the devil to your car deals. You need to know the cause, which is usually you don't understand leasing and you buy your cars and trade them in. And then you need to, like I said, there's 2 ways to get out of it. There's 2 ways. You could either get the offers we teach in our equity assessment process. We get offers from CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. These replays do go up on YouTube and Facebook as well. So anything that you missed, hop onto the replay, watch it, and go to that section. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because what we're going to do in the next coming weeks is we're going to start timestamping the questions. So as we build it out, although you'll be able to tap in from every platform, if you want to watch a replay and say, okay, I want the answer to that question, you can only do that on YouTube. So we'll have that coming in the next couple weeks. But yeah, so that's what you're going to do. That's the only time we trade is when there's a negative equity. Any other time, we're getting offers from the highest bidders online. And then whoever wins that bid gets our car. And then we're getting offers from the dealership for the car we want, multiple dealerships. And whoever wins that bid is who we buy our car from. That is how we maximize the money we save when we're buying. And that's how we make sure when we're selling our car, our lease. Who didn't know you could sell a lease? If you did not know you could sell a lease, type 1 in the comments. Well, we can't just keep typing ones. We got to come up with some different stuff. Type a question mark. You didn't know that you could sell a lease. Or you didn't know, here's another one. You didn't know you could sell a car while you still have a loan on it. Some people were taught, you might have been taught, oh, I thought I had to wait for the title. I didn't know I could sell a car because I would have people walk into the dealership and say, Deshone, that's the new one right there. I'm like, yeah, that's the 20, whatever. Just getting, okay, I got 4 more payments. As soon as I pay off mine, I'm coming to get that. Horrible. Now I sit that person down, try to educate them on leasing because you're running a race, paying off this car, and as soon as you pay it off, you're going to start a whole nother race on another car. So yes, you can, you can certainly. We never now look. Every lease doesn't have equity, so let's be clear on that. But we never return a lease to a dealership without doing an equity assessment, because many of you, unfortunately, especially all through the pandemic, you were taking leases back and you were giving leases back that had money in them, or you were saying, okay, I know I have equity, but you got to work a deal for me. We don't let someone tell us how much equity we have. We get our payoff, and then we call and we get offers for our car. And we get our payoff from our bank or leasing company, and then we call and we get, we go online, we get online cash offers. That tells us how much equity we have. We don't let a dealer tell us how much equity we have at all. All right. This one's TikTok. Nissan said I can't sell my lease to anyone other than them. No, you can. Okay. See how wording, here's what's important about wording. Your third party restriction means you can sell to any Nissan dealer. So what we do after we get our online offers, we call and we get bids from Nissan dealer used car managers. It doesn't mean, you go in and you talk to one dealer or the dealer you bought your car from. Oh, they said I can't sell to anybody but you. First of all, every Nissan dealer is independently owned and operated. So what I want you to know, if you've ever thought that, some people didn't know, you're not going to, these dealers are all owned. See, when you think all of these Nissan dealers are one, that's why you don't make them compete. See, you've been taught, or you've been schooled to think, yo, these are all one dealer. Every Nissan dealer I drive by, that's Nissan. That's why some people say, I won't do business with Nissan. Had a bad experience with that dealer. They're all different. They're all independently owned and operated. And that's why when you start using what I'm teaching you, which is making people compete, you're going to see how different they are. Oh, this one's trying to beat this one. These 3 right here are all high. Matter of fact, all 5 of y'all are high, but this one over here that was 45 minutes away, he beat the price on all of y'all. That's what you got to understand. These dealers are independently owned and operated, but they've trained you to make you think they're not, so that you just keep coming to the one that's closest to you. But yes, we make those dealers, when we have we've had tons of people sell vehicles with third-party restrictions. You get bids from used car managers, because your Nissan might be worth 15 to this Nissan dealership. To this Nissan dealership, it's worth 16. To this one, it's worth 16.5. To this one, it's worth 17. And if you just go into one dealer and give them that car, you're leaving thousands of dollars on the table. And I'm only interested in talking to the people who are like, Deshone, I'm done leaving money on the table. If that's you, then just keep listening and unlearn what you've been taught. A big part of what you're going to do here is unlearn the bad advice. We're going to make sure of it. All right. Mike Kelly. This one's Facebook. Is there a source anywhere that will tell you any and all rebates available on the vehicle you're looking for? No. Nope. You must shop offers. If there was just, it'd be great to just know all public nope. Rebates, brand new cars and leases. There's nowhere you can go that say, oh, look, they have all these rebates. Example, like I talked about Sean. I pulled his deal. Sean is somebody that uses my stuff, and if you use my stuff, you get multiple offers. This was his F51, his F50 Lightning, $73,000 vehicle. Not only did the winning dealer save him $4,990, that's from the dealer, but through multiple offers, the rebates were revealed, 15.5. Now, You don't know if that's the real rebate. Could be 18. When I worked for Mercedes, I sold 2 Maybachs. The rebates on each of them was $20,000. So some people, I remember when a young lady named Shonda, she lives in California. She got a Volkswagen, she got a Volvo last year. She had to go to Southern California because they were blowing everybody away as far as the prices. She said, Deshaun, I'm taking a plane, $73 plane ticket, because the dealer in Southern California is saving me $3,000 above my best offer up here. And I said, well, sounds like a great plane trip. You're going to have a nice ride home. But what we saw was some deal, and this is regular. Some dealers will say, hey, we got $1,000 rebate. I included it. Some dealers, oh, it's a $2,000 rebate. I included it. You don't know what it is until you get 5 offers, and then you see the best one. So there's no website that'll tell you what all the rebates are. Be nice. Thank you to everybody who gives gifts to and supports the broadcast, stars and all of that. And of course, thank you to everyone who's bought my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. Everything I'm teaching, everything on my videos all over social media is in there step by step so that you can have it all in one spot and you can use this for the rest of your life. It's a digital book, so I always update it when things change. And for our launch, you can get it for 75% off. It's normally $97, but in my TikTok bio for 30 minutes while you're on the show, you can get it for 75% off, or in my Instagram bio. All right, let's go to Instagram. Oh, let me post it for you guys here on Facebook and YouTube as well. Anybody who's watching on a TV, you can scan that QR code, or you can go to deshonsbook.com. Don't want to forget about you guys. Good to see you, Mike Kelly. All right, let's go. See, now look at this. This is the language that we got to get out of. Somebody said, Lexus just quoted me $1,065 for a lease, $58,000 car. Now, I don't know if this person just jumped on, but about 5 minutes ago, I was talking about Nissan. See how we talk about one dealer like it's the company? And see, that eliminates our ability to tap into multiple offers. Lexus didn't quote you anything. Lexus is the big company, Lexus USA, that makes cars and has a bank and has multiple franchise dealers. That's Lexus. You went to Lexus of Rockland County and they quoted you that. You went to Lexus of Englewood and they quoted you that. You see what I'm saying? When you understand that these dealers are independent, you'll stop calling them the brand. They're not the brand. And you'll also start to get multiple offers because Lexus of Englewood competes against this dealer. And so we will never buy a car without getting at least 5 offers, because 80% of dealers are overpriced. 80% of dealers will sell you a car 3, 4, 5 grand above what their competition will. 10 grand, doesn't matter, as much as they could get. 20% will blow their competition prices away. And that's who we find, and that's who we buy from. And we do that right here from home. Now, you're welcome to do it the manual way. You can call a bunch of Lexus dealers, ask for the sales manager, get multiple offers, tell them everything that you need so that they can give you a quote. You're more than welcome to do that. I do it online. I have the strategy I call it 25 to 5. We connect with 25 dealers, one, because I want to shop out of all their inventory. When you're buying or leasing a brand new car, you want to shop out of all these dealers' inventories so that we don't have to hear, oh, I don't have that color. Oh, you know what? That one's hard. I don't really have it with that option. When I'm shopping out of 25 dealers' inventories, very rarely do we hear that, unless it's just a rare car, and in which case, we wouldn't have, going into 2 dealers would have not worked for us anyway. So when we find out, we don't believe something until 5 dealers say it, 10 dealers say it. 1 dealer, no, we don't believe that. All right, let's keep them going. Great questions. Let's keep them going. Keep typing your questions. No, maps is not in my book. Do not, if you're in maps, you don't need my book. Yeah, you're in the video version of my book and you're coaching with me. So if they're two totally separate things. Totally separate things. Oh, you just came from the masterclass. Okay, so you're choosing if you want to join MAPS. It's up to you. It's up to you. Or you can get the book. It's up to you. I provide the information. I don't hold back information. It just depends on what experience you want. You can come on here and let's ask questions, and I'm gonna give you the strategy. You can try to remember them. You can watch all my videos. You can get the book if you want it all in one spot. It's totally up to you. As long as you get the information and shop right, that's all I care about. Is it better to lease or own a car? Monica, this is a great question. And I told you guys, someone's gonna ask the same question as you. This is the first. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the formula that will save you the money that you need to save and will forever answer the question of should I lease or buy this next car. It's very simple. This question has nothing to do with how much you drive. It has everything to do with how long you're going to keep the car. Because the expense that you need to concern yourself with when it comes to leasing versus buying is the unseen expense, depreciation. When you are buying a car, if you are keeping it 7+ years, like once you get to about 7 years, your depreciation has really cooled off and leveled out. What does that mean? You're not losing a lot of value in your car every year. When you buy your car, the first year, the second year, the third year, the fourth year, the fifth year, you're losing high percentages of the value. Whether you drive it or not, doesn't matter. You could have it parked outside. It's just going down, going down, going down. This is why you got to be clear on the fact. Here's what you got to understand. I pay for my mileage. I pay for my usage, whether I buy or lease. Because how many people have either said this or you've heard somebody say it? Oh, I want to drive as much as I want, so that's why I don't lease. Who's heard that? Or said that. Honestly, I like to drive as much as I want to, so that's why I don't lease. Let's see. Okay, lots of you. So you pay for that mileage whether you buy or lease. When you start realizing that, now your mission is going to be, if I pay for it whether I buy or lease, which one do I pay less for? Now, in the long run, for those of you who on average, because I mix it up. I've had 6 leases. I kept those 3 years. I have a vehicle now that I bought. We're keeping it 8+ years. So there is no one, it's not the person, it's the vehicle. Who on average has a car that they usually keep 8+ years? Tell me how many years on average you keep your car, or even on how many years on average you've had your last car. How many years do you typically keep your car? The car that's outside, how many years you had it? Just start. I want to see some of your answers. You shouldn't be shopping for a car like it's a second job. Once you decide what you want, if you're doing it your way, it's gonna suck. I'm not here to tell you it's not. I'm like, the old way sucks. That way, I get cars in 90 minutes. The people who use these online shopping strategies, I have an online shopping system. It's not something I hope works. I've worked with 1,700 people since 2021, personally, in my video library program. That's outside of the book. Thank God, we're putting thousands of books in people's hands. There's thousands of people that are going to be using this. It is not going to take them hours or even days. No, that's over. But the old way, yeah, takes a lot of time, and you still may not get what you want. Okay, so I see 3 years. I see 3. I see 15. I see 10. I see 10. Okay, let's see. I see 10. I see 2. I see 12. I see 8 and 12. Okay, so the question is, how many years have you kept the car that you have? If you're not keeping your car 8 years, then what's happening is you're losing so much value. And here's what's happening. When somebody like Charles is on the screen right now. If you're on any of the platforms that I can broadcast the picture, then you'll be able to see it. He's shopping. He got a Hyundai Palisade. This is top 10 most popular vehicles, especially all through the pandemic. This was top 10 most popular vehicles, big SUVs. People were paying, and you may be like, Deshone, I got a Palisade. I paid 3,000 over sticker. I paid, 5,000 over sticker. I've heard people were charging 10 grand over sticker. So he's leasing this vehicle. He said, I reached out to 35 Hyundai dealers. I have something in my book. I call it the 25 to 5. So you might be like, Deshone, how did he reach out to 35? Took him about 30 minutes. We do this all from home. He's using my copy and paste templates. He said, I reached out to 35 Hyundai dealers. I got 10 quotes back. The offers range from, and this is important because when you properly shop offers, you're going to see a big spread. If you don't see a big spread when you're shopping offers, you did not shop right. That's used cars. Whenever I'm buying a used car, the car I bought, it was 31 grand. I saw vehicles from 31 up to 37, 38. When we shop offers, you should see a $3,000 to $5,000 difference between your best offer, who wins the bid, and your highest offer. That's when you know you shop correct. So he said the offers were between 1.23 and 1.66. I'm a high mileage driver, so he adjusts the mileage after, but his payment on a $48,000, $48,595 Palisade is $597. They told you that leasing was like renting. One of the worst things you heard. Who's heard that? Leasing was like renting. Renting a car is hundreds of dollars per day in most cases. Leasing a car is pennies on the dollar when you get great leases. And don't pay attention. He gave them $597. We always shop our lease deals with only first month's payment due at signing. So don't listen to the advertisements. Don't listen. Pretty much, if you're going to do what I'm telling you to do, you got to stop listening to everything but me. And that's not egotistical. Try what I'm telling you. But if you start listening to people, oh, it's no deals out here. Not for you, there isn't, because you're using old strategies. Oh man, I went to all these dealers, man. Nobody want to make a deal. For you, oh, I saw a commercial that said to lease a Hyundai Palisade was $497 a month, and I had to come up with $4 grand plus taxes and fees. We don't look at those. So for real, if you're going to do this and you want to save the money that Charles is saving and that a bunch of other people I'll show you are saving, you can't listen to none of that stuff. None of that is deals. That's noise. Deals are not advertised. This, they will never advertise. You will never see, come drive a Hyundai Palisade, $50,000 vehicle, $597 a month, no money due at signing, and that includes tax. You'll never see it. That's a real deal. Real deals are not advertised. And if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, somebody like Charles, who's learned to lease, he's paying so much less than you. So there's two ways to win with buying cars. You're either going to keep them a long time, 8+ years, so you can outlive all this depreciation, all that money you're going to lose, or you're going to get great lease deals. But there's this group of people you're stuck in between. You like, some of you buy and keep. Look at all the people on here who put 10 years, 10 years. Those are people you won. You kept a vehicle 10 years, even if you overpaid for it a little bit, you still won, because the long-term wins, the long-term value will exceed anything that you might have overpaid for. Now, if you got a crazy deal and crazy huge discount, even better. Those are the people who will win. But the leasers who get great lease deals, you win. But the people who you're stuck in between, you buy your cars and then you trade them in. 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years. You haven't picked a side. You won't lease and then you won't keep. And you're destined to lose if you're in there. There's another group of people who are losing. You lease and then you buy the vehicle. Stuck in between. You're losing. And it's time to stop. Because, well, anyway, let's go. Let's keep the questions coming. Somebody on Instagram said he can't hear me. How's the volume on Instagram? Can y'all give me a clear? Is it him or is it me? Let me know. All right. Come on, let's keep the questions rolling. Have any bad credit questions been answered yet? There's no bad questions that have been asked. Okay, good. It's clear. So check your audio, man. Check your audio. What credit score do you need, and what is your, and well, in my book is a plan for every credit score. Like if I couldn't lease, I'd be setting myself up for a lease. If I needed a vehicle right now, well, first of all, let's say I don't have the credit to lease right now and I don't need a vehicle. See, who knows that there's a very big difference between need a car and want a car? Who knows that? Very big difference. Sometimes you could mix those up. Yeah, I want a car. Do I need a car? That's different. If your car was stolen, totaled, you need a car. If you're just like, you know what? I'm looking around, I want a new car. You want a car. Now, if you have the credit, great. But if you know that based on what you're going to learn or what you've learned so far, I've got tons of broadcasts. We've talked about leasing. We're never going to stop talking about people who don't keep their cars 8 years. You're breaking the 8-year rule and you should be leasing. If I could qualify for a lease and I needed a car, I'm getting an inexpensive car that I can use to build credit. That's my only it's only two purposes for that car. If I know I should be leasing, Deshone, I want to drive these brand new cars. I want to pay these pennies on the dollar. I want these low payments and everything, but my credit's not there and I need a car. Then I'm getting me the least expensive car I could get a loan on. It's going to be for two purposes: to get me where I need to go and to build credit so I can lease in 2 years. Now, if you go out and you get a $20,000 or $30,000 car and pay 20% interest rate on it, you won't be leasing in 2 years, because that car is going to have so much negative equity. When in 2 years, when you go to try to switch it and sell it, you're going to see I owe too much, and now that's going to blow out my lease deal. I would have got a great lease deal, but I still owe daggone $23,000 on that Scat Pack that was 9 years old with 90,000 miles. It's your choice. You could set yourself up or you could set yourself back. All right, let's go. We're paying $20,000 down on a new car for $55K. Be advisable. Nikki, great question. Nikki asks, I always say, y'all, if you stay on long enough, somebody else is going to ask the same question you have, because many of you are in the same situation. There's no one on here. I don't care what you think, your situation is not unique. It's not unique. Millions of people a year buy cars, and many of you are in the exact same situation. So you're going to hear your question. Now, she said, would paying 20 grand as a down payment on a brand new car for $55K be advisable? If you plan to keep the car 8+ years, then sure. There's nothing wrong. See, I want you to look at down payment money when you're buying, like paying cash. People weigh it the same. What's the rate? What am I doing with my money? So let's say the interest rate, before we buy any car, we always check to see, is there any special interest rates? 0%, 0.99%, 1.99, especially in the days where interest rates are high. We check this. We check this anyway, but it doesn't matter. Interest rates could be super low. We're still going to check this. So some people will say, if the money is very cheap, then I'm not going to put much money down if my money is working for me. So let's just say you got 20 grand under the mattress or in a safe, then that money's not working for you. It's just cash. So you may not care about throwing it at the car. Someone who has money in the stock market and mutual funds and real estate and investments that are earning them, 8-10% or more, they're going to put less down and they're going to use the bank's money if it's cheap. Now, if the bank's money is expensive, 6%, 7%, 8%, then whether, in those cases, it makes sense to not use any leverage because the money's expensive. So if I was buying and money is expensive, then I'm going to put as much money as I can down. I'm going to look to pay off the car, but only if you're keeping it 8 years. If you're not keeping this car at least 8 years, then you're about to lose a ton of that money. 20 grand, you're about to lose a ton of that. A ton. because you should be leasing. You should be shopping for leases, not for purchases. We must, if your goal is not to be one of the people on here, when I ask how long have you had your car and they put 9, 10, 12 years, if your goal is not to get to that level, because at that level, you've outlived depreciation. Your car has lost tons of value the first 3, 4, 5, 6 years, tons of value. But it gets to a point where it's cooled off. It gets to a point where you're not losing that much money anymore. And that's where most people go and trade a car and do it all over again. They say, look, I went through the worst depreciation for 6 years, but let's go and do this again now. Start all over. Where you're supposed to be at that point, like, now this is where I keep it. Car's paid off, depreciation's cooled off. I'm going to keep this thing, and I'm going to now get all of this money that I put into this car back out of it. I'm not going to go swap this and do this thing all over again. If you are that per Deshone, I'm not keeping a car that long, then you should be shopping for leases. Deshone, I don't have the credit, then you should be getting a car that sets you up for a lease in 2 years. Very simple. Boundaries. T-Rock, good to see you. Good to see you. I see a lot of people. If this is your first time on the broadcast with us, can you type a 1? I always like to shout out the new people and shout out to the sharers. Shout out to everybody who tagged somebody, who invited somebody to the broadcast. On Instagram, if you hit the share button, you could actually run down the list and just share with like several of your friends. And look, I'm just telling you, as we get this information out, you don't want to see your friend's car deal in a year and you like, when did you get that car? And you like, you don't follow Deshone? And I know, I never heard of him, because most people have no idea who the heck I am. And you like, man, I've been following him for like a year. No, didn't I tell you I was shopping for a car? Why you ain't telling me about him? Now you might lose a friend. You might lose a friend. I'm just saying. All right. To everybody that just jumped on, everything that I'm teaching, if you've seen any of my social media videos, it all comes out of my brand new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book, and I kept it digital because I have links in there. I got links to videos. I got links to my scripts, and I update it when things change in the market. If I had 100,000 books in your houses, now something changes, a website changes. That now here's what you'll be hearing. Hey guys, yeah, I know you bought my book last year, but you know, a couple of the websites changed, so I just released volume 2, the updated version. Go get that now. Right in my that's the only thing you could do. I wouldn't be wrong. It's just that's all you could do if you have a print book. With a digital book, update, you open it a year from now. Any websites that are not relevant anymore, like Vroom went out of business a couple months ago. They were in part of our bidding strategy. You open it up, you don't see Vroom because I updated the file. So you can get it for 75% off as part of our launch. In my TikTok bio, it's normally $97. In my Instagram bio, or you can go to deshonesbook.com if you're on Facebook or YouTube. I'll put the link for y'all. And let's keep the questions coming. Let's go. But get your book. Once 30 minutes expires, it's $97, which is still great money. So it doesn't matter. You're still going to win. But 24 is better than 97. All right. Let's see. This one's from Facebook. We're taking questions from all platforms, so keep typing them. I typically lease, but I want to buy a used car 3 years or older. Plan to keep it for a minimum of 3 to 5 years. Can't make this stuff up. Paul, how long you been on the broadcast? How long you been on the broadcast, Paul? So if you've been on the broadcast for 10 minutes, how didn't you just hear me talk about if you're not keeping your car 8 years, you shouldn't be purchasing? You're losing, brother. You're losing. I'm making this as clear as it can possibly be. You need to be locked in. I didn't say if it's not used. Don't, please listen. Take what I say exactly the way I say it. Exactly the way I say it. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. That's the only, now, if it doesn't work, you come back to me and you say something. But if I'm teaching you something that I would, and I hate this, 90% of people are doing incorrectly, then in order for you to really win, you got to be totally locked into the details, bro. Like we talking numbers, we talking financial, like we talk. So you got to be in, and look, because this is new for you, you might have to be like, all right, D, I got to go back and I got to rewatch the broadcast. But as long as I have laid this out for y'all in a way where I don't want you thinking, because this is an industry that I've been in for now total 2006, we're going on 18 years now. And I know that in order for you to win, all of you, I have to make this in a way where you guys don't have to think. Because the minute you start, I got to think and I got to remember, what should I say there? I'm setting you up for failure. So best thing is just, if you hear Deshone say this, lock it in as a rule, especially if I say it's a rule, like the 8-year rule. And the 8-year rule is this. This is step 1 in my book. My book is 7 steps. Step 1 is the most important question. How many years are you keeping the car? Why is that the most important question? Because that's going to determine whether you buy or lease. If you answer that question and say 8 years, you're buying. If you say 3 years, you're leasing. 8-year rule. 8-year rule. If I'm not buying if I'm not keeping 8 years, I shouldn't be buying. And I don't care how much money I save. If I buy when I should have leased, it does not matter how much money I save. Let's go back to one of these lease deals. Let's look at Danielle. Danielle is driving a $44,000 Audi. She's paying $550 a month. Let's just say somebody went in to buy that same Audi. Y'all, shout out to y'all liking this, tapping the screen on TikTok. I appreciate y'all shooting the likes up. Let's just say Danielle, who leased this Audi for $550 a month, that's all she gave them, $550. She drove off. Let's just, I want to show you to hammer this home. This buying versus leasing thing, I'm like, we're going to hit it from all angles. Like, we are going to hit it straight on, from the side, hook it, uppercut, because you gotta be, because they've been hitting y'all with bad information for so long. They've been hitting y'all with bad lease commercials, Dave Ramsey videos, viral videos. They've been hitting y'all with all this stuff from so many angles, so we got to do it the same way. So let's take Danielle, who got a really good lease, $550 a month, and it's a $44,000 car. I want to show you that if you buy when you should have leased, it doesn't matter how good of a deal you get. You lost. You lost big money. Let's say somebody comes in and they're looking at the same Audi that Danielle just leased. She just leased it. They want to buy it. Now, let's just say let's say they get a bet. Let's say they even get multiple offers like I teach, and somehow they save $5,000. Just make up a number. Save daggone more than 10% of the price. So they buy that car for $39,000. Now, once their taxes and everything go in, they're going to be about $42,000. Every $5,000 is what, y'all? Every $5,000 that you borrow on a loan, some of you know, if you're new, you may not know, but you're about to find out. Every $5,000 is how much per month? So this person came in, they used their skills, they might have used a negotiator, or they used my strategy, got bids, they end up getting a $45,000 Audi, $44,000 Audi for $39,000. Now they're going to finance about $42,000. There we go. Thanks, MK. Every 100, it's $100. So where does that put them per month? 42, about $830. Yeah, but he saved $5,000. Matter of fact, no, man, he stole a car. He saved $10,000. He went in, got the brand new Audi A3, saved $10,000. They just wanted to give him a price no one else in the country has ever gotten. We want to give you a price no one else in this world has ever paid. Take $10,000 off that. Instead of $44,000, sell it to him for $34,000. My God, I really won with this. Now, Danielle drove off for $550. He gets it for 34, taxes and everything. He's about 38. Every $5,000, $100 a month. What's his payment? 38, 750. On a deal no one else will ever get in this world. Still paying $200 more per month than Danielle. Do y'all see what we're talking about? Is that clear? That's why the first question, how many years are you going to keep the car, which is the leasing versus buying question, the 8-year rule question, is where your deal foundation. Let's say somebody says, you know what, Deshone, I'm not buying new. I'm going to buy a pre-owned one. Okay, you're going to buy a pre-owned Audi? You're not keeping it though. Nah, I ain't going to keep it. I'll keep it about 5 years. Okay. And you're not going to lease it. Nah, I don't believe in leasing. Okay. Danielle drives off in her brand new Audi 550. This person comes, let's say a brand new 44. What's a good price on a 3-year-old one? I want to ask y'all, because I'm not going to leave nothing to chance. I want to show you that no matter how you slice it from logic, it's no way to win when you should have leased, but you bought. So let's say brand new one's 44. How much is a used one? Good deal on a used one. Brand new car, 44,000. 3-year-old one. What's a good price on a 3-year-old one? Let's be conservative. What we think? What we think? Y'all take some time, think about it, because it's something you got to. 3-year-old Audi, brand new was 44. What should a pre-owned one be? Can we say, okay, I was going to say 28, Mike. Mike said 30. The Don said 30. That's fair. 27. So let's call it anywhere in there, right? Let's go with the lowest one. Pre-owned one shouldn't be 40. Stick around. If the car is brand new 40, then at 44, then the pre-owned one shouldn't be 40 for 3 years old. Stay here, okay? Stay here. We're gonna make sure that you save money, but let's just go deep. Let's just say the lowest number somebody called out on this broadcast is what the person gets it for, $27,000. $27,000 tax, put them about 30. Every $5,000, how much a month? $100. What's their payment? $600. Is it clicking? If it's clicking, we just compared a good lease deal that Danielle got, what's coming out of her house, what she's driving. Danielle pulls up to next to two people. Let's just say they all at the traffic light. 3 Audi A3s at a traffic light. Danielle in the middle. This woman over here, she bought hers, got a great deal on it. And this used one over here. Danielle's paying $550 for a brand new one. Person to her right bought it, paying, what was it? What was the person who bought the new one paying a month? Was it 8? It was 8, right? And the person to our left who's driving the used one, 3 years old, 1 year left on the warranty, is paying 6. This is why I fight for you to understand. This is how you got to understand. So when you think about it, and some of you might be saying to yourself, Dad, Deshone, I haven't kept my cars 8 years. That's me. So what are you going to do now? I wish that I could meet you where you're at and be like, hey, you're doing so good with these cars. You're just saving all the money you should be saving. You know, you're just killing it. But let me show you how to do a little better. I wish that was like, that'd be easier to deliver. That's not me. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here I got to deliver the bad news first. I'm from an industry that taught you how to do things wrong. And then you got influencers who talk about cars, who know nothing about financial strategies with cars. They done gave you strategies that have failed you. So I got to come in and tell you, yo, that was all wrong. Now it hurts because you're like, Dag, I lost money. But I'm the only one that's going to give you something that say, all right, you lost the money, but you still got a couple more cars left. We still got your family. You still got your friends. We could win from now on. So that is the rule. If you are not keeping your cars 8 years, doesn't matter you buy, doesn't matter new cars, used cars. When you say, I want a new car, if you ain't keeping it 8 years, you should be shopping for great lease deals all day long. You're going to keep tons of money in your pocket. You're going to drive the best cars. Now, if you're like the opposite, Deshone, I'm keeping my cars 8, 10 years, then you shouldn't even be thinking about leasing. Now, that doesn't mean that's your family, because your child might be, or your spouse might be, you know, man, I don't want to keep this one 8 years. Okay, then your spouse should be getting a lease and you should be getting a purchase. Every car could be different. All right. Everybody getting value out of this? If you're getting value, type $signs. If you're getting value, I know, look, I don't mind. I'm from an industry of confrontation, so I don't mind coming in and having the latest down. But here's what I do know. A year from now, 5 years from now, you're going to be like, man, I'm glad I learned how to do this thing right. Outside of the bidding, outside of the getting, how we shop, that's one thing. We get bids. You're going to love that. You're not going to be doing this negotiations anymore. If you're not a good negotiator, type not good. If you're not a good negotiator, type not good. I'm going to show you how bids is going to save you all the money. Danielle didn't, she's not negotiating. She didn't negotiate for this $550 a month. She sat at home, she got bids. Sat at home, did all her deals, made people bid for her business. Did all her counter offers that I told her how to do online, email. They ain't got to talk to nobody. That's how you win. When you're typing Deshone not good, you win by making people bid. All right? That's how you do. But outside of how we get deals, the leasing versus buying, that's the foundation of the deal. And if your deal's on the wrong foundation, you can't get a good deal. So the first thing you always got to do, put your deal on the right foundation. I should be leasing based on how long I'm going to keep the car. I should be buying based on how long I'm going to keep my car. All right. Is it true that you're not responsible for major repairs when leasing? That's correct. Now, you can't bring the vehicle back damaged, but if you have an accident, you run it through insurance, it doesn't affect you. You have no penalties. You could have 10 accidents when you're leasing, as long as you run them through insurance. Now, if you had 10 accidents on a purchase, what is that doing to your value? You owned your car, you got 10 accidents. If you lease, you don't have to worry about it. Let me put my banner back up for those of you who just jumped on, or those of you who are like Deshone. I need that book. What's the name of it? My new digital book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It is not just leasing versus buying like I just broke down, but also how we shop and make dealers bid for our business, how we make banks bid and credit unions bid, and how we make buyers bid. We don't trade cars. So everything is in there, and you can get it for 75% off. It's normally $97. It'll be in your inbox in literally 10 minutes or less, really like 3-4 minutes. You can get it in my TikTok bio, but it's only 75% off for 30 minutes. Once it goes to zero, it goes back to $97, which is still a great price. Or you can get it in my Instagram bio, click that website, and grab your copy for 75% off. But yeah, when leasing, here's the key. When leasing, you may have heard that with leasing, oh, the car has to be perfect. Absolutely not true. Many leasing companies have something called the credit card rule. So if a scratch could be covered by a credit card, they're not going to charge you. They allow for normal wear and tear. No bank, no leasing company expects you to bring a car back in 3 years looking like it just left the showroom. They allow for normal wear and tear. These are your dings. These are your brush scratches. You're in a shopping mall, somebody opens their car, dings your car, allowable. What's going to be billed is things that would be billed if you owned the car and was trying to sell it. See, if you own the car, people wouldn't be looking at that stuff saying, oh, I'm not buying it. Look, you got that little ding there. No, it doesn't affect your value that much. Now, if you came and the tires were bald, well, that affects your value. If you came and there was a scratch on it, looked like somebody keyed the car, oh, that's going to affect your value. Those things are those are the things that get billed for. and they call those excess wear and tear. That's not normal wear and tear. That means, you know, a baseball-sized dent, a crack in the windshield. These are things that are called excess wear and tear. So, you know, if you're getting billed for damage on your lease, it's because you've really gone outside of normal wear and tear. But the car does not need to be perfect. The car does absolutely not need to be perfect. They allow for normal wear and tear on a lease. Okay, let's see. Hold on. All right, we got a little more time. Let's keep it going. Jay, I have the book. Use it. Congrats. Use it and win. And please, everyone who has the book, please DM me. I don't see DMs, so I'm not even gonna say DM. Thank God we have over 2 million followers across 4 platforms, and we get hundreds of DMs. There's just no way for me to see them. The minute you purchase the book, I give you a support email, just in case, because sometimes you type in your email wrong, you're typing fast, and you're trying to get back to the broadcast, and you know it won't be there. Give it 10 minutes. Make sure you check spam, but make sure you send me your success story. I want to see when you get your car, and I want to see the deal. See, this is the difference when you start getting great deals. Let me tell you how different this is going to be. You're going to be just as excited about the deal as the car. See, people, if you don't know how to get great deals, you don't broadcast the deal. You just say, oh, look at my new car. When you start getting incredible deals, Danielle, when you start getting deals like this, save, and it's not just leases. We got tons of people who got purchase deals too. Like I showed Sean. Sean's getting an F-150. Look, he's getting an F-150 Lightning XLT. He sent me this a couple days ago. $73,000 MSRP. He's getting $20,000. He's getting over $20,000 off. He's purchasing that, keeping that truck. So when you start getting stuff like this, you're going to broadcast the deal. So you're going to be so excited. Yo, not only did I get this great car, look at what I did. So send me that. Deshone, look at what I just paid for this. Yo, look at this lease deal I just got. Deshone, look at this used car. Look how much I just saved from the original MSRP. That's when you are confident in the deals. Because I know you buy your cars and you don't want to talk numbers. Most people will not send me numbers. Most people will not send me numbers. I've been on social media now for what, May 2021, going on 3 years. Very rarely do I get a deal that somebody bought. You don't have confidence in the deal. And no one wants to hear that you overpaid. So, but now, oh, you'll be emailing me. Deshone, look at this price. Yeah, I stole this car. Look at this, Deshone. This was the lowest out of all the offers. And that's what I want. No, Stephen, you shouldn't be buying your lease. All you're doing when you're buying a lease, look, somebody, this is TikTok. Somebody asked, should I buy my lease? Why? And the answer is no, unless you're keeping it 8 years. Because here's the thing. I know some of y'all may have heard about, heard this thing that's not a thing called lease to buy. Who's heard about that? Who's heard lease to buy? Who's heard that? Lease to buy. Who's heard that? Okay. Steven said, I never heard of it. Okay. What it is people will lease their car, turn around and buy it. We don't do that because you've already had the car for 3 years. And what you're doing is it goes back to not picking out. If you say all you're doing when you buy a lease is buying a used car, that's it. If you look at it the exact same way, that is exactly what it is. So when you look at it that way, now what you're asking yourself is, Deshone, should I buy a used car or should I lease a new car? Now, if you tell me you're keeping it 8+ years, then buy the used car. That's the only thing you're doing when you buy your lease. You're buying a used car. People used to come into the dealership. It was one of the least exciting things that I ever did. I'm gonna tell you why. And I would try to make it exciting. It never was. People come in. I set up the appointment for them to come buy their lease out. They wouldn't listen to me in some cases. Now, again, if you're keeping the car forever, if you say, Deshone, I love this car, you know what? I leased it for 3 years. I could see myself keeping it for another 8 to 10. Easy. I love this car. Then buy it. 100%. But a lot of times, nope, it wasn't. They come in and they just like, oh, I don't feel like shopping, or hey, whatever reason, they buy the lease. They come out of the office and I'm like, all right, hey, paperwork's done, because you're literally starting another loan, or you're laying out a good financial check for a car you've been driving for 3 years. At least when you lease, at least when you buy a used car, it's a different car, So it's like there's some excitement there. It's new to you. It's new to me. So when you buy your used car, it's like got me a new car. It's pre-owned, but it's when you buy your lease, you come out of that office and you're like, "Dag, I just signed up for 5 years of payments on a car that I already been paying on for 3 years." Most people who are going to buy their lease, it's going to take a 5 or 6 year loan to get the same or similar lease payment. So if your lease payment was $400, usually to get to about a $400 finance payment, you need a 6-year loan. What's 6 plus 3? 3 years you leased it, and then you take a 6-year loan. 9 years. 9 years. Name of the book is Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. Somebody asked, what's the name of the book? So would anybody on here, you all are smart adult, would anybody on here sign up for a 9-year loan? Anybody? Anybody? No. No. Look, she said, hell no. No. So that's what most people are doing when they're buying their lease. And you look up, you look up, and a lot of people ain't even planning on keeping it. They just don't want to shop. See, when you learn to shop, Stephen, you'll see it's deals everywhere. Like the deals, like I've been helping people for the last 3 years make deals all across the country. It's deals everywhere when you know how to shop. When you don't know how to shop, there's deals nowhere. So most people, they're just buying their lease to buy some time. Here's what happens. Literally, they'll pay the lease for 3 years, buy it, take out a 6-year loan. You look up in 3 years or 2 years, let's say 3. And you're like, all right, you know what? The market seems a little better. Meanwhile, it's been fine the whole time. And you're like, okay, man, I've been driving this car. I leased it for 3 years. I had it for 6 years, man. Let me go and get something else now. Shop. You still owe 3 years of payments. What a shame to have a car you paid on for 6 years and you still owe 3 years of payments. One of the worst financial decisions people are making. But again, if you're going to keep the car long term and pay it off, keep it 8 more years, then buy the lease. But if that's not you, you should be shopping for an aggressive lease deal right now. All right. This one's Facebook. Sandy said, Brother Deshone, help a brother out. So I'm looking for a Benz GLS 2018 to 20. I'm having trouble with the sheet. I can't figure out the discount because I can't obtain original sale price. Also, when listing from highest to lowest, should I list from range of years or each sheet is broken down by years? I always do lowest to highest. I do the lowest price to highest. So whenever I open up the offers, you're using what's in my book, Sandy. You just open up, once you have the marketplaces, you create your account, you open them all up, and then you're sorting lowest to highest, because you can't. Who knows what we're trying to do when it comes to market value? Who remembers? What's the only thing important for us when it comes to market value? Let's see. And you know what? We've been getting a lot of new people on here every broadcast, so I can't even ask that. I can't even ask that because, a lot of people on here for the first time. Yes, Mike called it. Yes, below market. So that's the only thing. So how do you get a below market used car? You gotta know what the market is. So when you open up those tabs, Sandy, you're going from lowest to highest because you need to see what the low side of the market is. Doesn't matter the year. I won't sort for the year. I will sort for the lowest value in the market, because if you've done the perfect budget calculator, which is in step 3, that's going to tell you, it's going to give you those goals of how much you can spend on a car with taxes and everything. And so when you have those goals, now what you're looking for is, I'll go lowest to highest, But if I see a 19 or something that I like, then I'll go with that because I know it's within my budget. So I just need to know what the lowest price in the market is. Now you could also do it by year. You want to do all the 18s, you could do that. You want to do all the 19s, you can do that. If you have, because what I would do is I look for the newest year first. So if I was looking 18 to 20, I'm trying to see is there a 20 in my budget? And then if I don't see it, all right, now let me add 19s. Is there a 19 in my budget? And then I go into 18. I'm only going older when I need to, not just from the start. I'm starting with the newest vehicle and seeing, can I get a great quality vehicle, new as possible, in that budget? And then if I can't, then I'm going to open it up to additional years. And when it comes to getting the MSRP, there's 3 ways to do it. You can try Get Clutch. I'm going to give you this website. Because every manufacturer doesn't have a deal with Carfax. Carfax shows the window sticker for the brands that they have a deal with. I think it's probably like 15, but there's 40 brands. So I would narrow it down to your top vehicles, and if you see that they're priced great, then you can use withclutch.com. I think it's withclutch.com. We're looking to build a software because they charge $5. I haven't found a spot that besides Carfax, and you've been able to get those Carfaxes on the dealers' websites, Sandy? You've been able to bypass, don't buy the Carfaxes on the marketplaces, go to the dealers' websites like the book says, and that's what you do. You need to get the original window sticker price, y'all. Because you're gonna pick the wrong car. I had 4 Infiniti trucks that I had narrowed my search down to, and they were all around the same price when I bought mine. They were all 2020s. They were all the same color, interior color. When I'm looking at them online, they all look the same. They're major differences, and the biggest difference is they're all asking between 30 and 32,000. But one of them brand new was 46, one of them was 48, one of them was 52, and one of them was 54.5, and that's the one I got. See how major that is? Dad, what if I would have picked the $46,000 one because they were asking 30? So I picked the one that was 46,000 brand new. So the one I got had the biggest discount. So when we're shopping, when we're making our final decision on which used car we're going to buy, we're not looking at the dealer, the discount the dealer's giving us. That doesn't matter. What matters is which one of these cars have the biggest discount from the original price when it was new. If this car was 50,000 brand new and they're asking 35, and then this car was 55,000 new and they're asking 35, this one's better. You're giving me 5,000 more value. I wouldn't know that. On top of that, I wouldn't even know what's in the car, what equipment, what packages. So I need to know that to be able to make the best decision. We shop different. We shop different. Normally in the left-hand corner under original MSRP. Oh, wait, I couldn't see that. All right, let's see. Anything on Instagram? We got a couple more minutes and then we'll wrap. Shout out to everybody who got my new book. Use it. Use it. I don't even say read it. That's not a book you read. That's a book you use. It's a step-by-step action guide. Do this, then do this, then go here, then type this in. And when you get to step 7, because it's 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships, when you get to step 7 is delivery. So when you get to step 7, I'm congratulating you. Good job. You stuck to the process. You saved money. Enjoy. Like, let's make sure delivery goes smooth. You shouldn't be reading step 7 and then saying, all right, I read the whole book. Now let me go back and car shop. No, that's not the way this book is. It's action guide. Normally $97. If you haven't visited the site yet, you can still get it for 75% off for 30 minutes as part of our official book launch. It'll be in your inbox in a matter of minutes. You go to my TikTok bio and grab yours. You can go to my Instagram bio and grab yours. And you'll have everything I teach in one spot, step by step. All right. I need this. Perfect. Now it makes sense. I was confused. You're the man. Appreciate you. Use it. I'm excited for you. Just stick to the process, and stay in the boundaries. You'll be just fine. It's different when you're operating with a plan. New here. Is this the help to when buying a car or selling? No, we're not. You're talking about selling cars as like a car salesman? No, we talk about buying and leasing cars, like, and how to get great deals. The book is normally $97. Somebody said, how much is the book? It's normally $97. That's the price it will be. That's the price it was before we launched it. And for our launch, it's 75% off. So if you get there before the timer is before 30 minutes, you get it for $24. And $97 is a great price, because you'll look back on it. If you use this book will save you. This book's probably worth $10,000. It's worth $5,000 each car you get, I would think. So depends on how many cars you're gonna get. Okay, this one's YouTube. How do you turn the rent charge on a lease agreement into an APR? No, we don't shop like that. You're not gonna do anything by converting so what he's talking about is taking the money factor and converting it into an interest rate. You multiply it by 2,400. That doesn't matter. Here's what matters. Listen, we take the way we do lease deals, we divide the MSRP into the monthly payment. That gives us a percentage. We divide the monthly payment into the MSRP. That gives us a percentage. This is based on the 1% rule. Every savvy lease buyer, well, most savvy lease people who've been getting great lease deals for like the last 20 years, you always knew about the 1% rule. It was like, if you could get a lease 1% of the MSRP or lower, no money down, you stole it. So all my leases, every single time I've leased, and I haven't leased since 2019, that was my last one, have been under 1%. My Jeep Grand Cherokee, $35,000 vehicle, $330 a month. I had 4 Infinities, all under 1%. My Q50s, $45,000 vehicles, I was paying $3. My highest payment was $390. The one before that was $365 or $345. The one before that was $325. These were $40,000, $42,000 vehicles. My Pontiac G6s was $256 a month. These was like 20. That was my highest one. That was my first lease, and I had to pay a little bit more because I was just establishing my credit as a leaser. But even that was probably 1.1%. So the 1% lease rule has been around way before I even got into the car business. What wasn't around, though, was when people were paying too much for leases. So we came up with the 1.5% rule, because once your lease payment is more than 1.5% of the MSRP with no money down, you're paying too much for a vehicle you're giving back. So lots of people, especially through the pay, I was making videos, people were making videos, hey, you really should explore leasing. No one was telling you guys how to make sure you weren't overpaying for the lease. Now, that doesn't mean it's a great deal. Like, that was like the max, 2 extremes. 1%, I stole a vehicle. 1.5%, I overpaid. So somewhere in between here is good deals. So when you look at this and you're like, okay, lease deals. What was the question? Oh, no, it wasn't Stephen. It wasn't leasing seems so costly now. Somebody had said something. How'd I get on that subject? What was I talking about that I went into a lot of lease deals? Thank you for your time and expertise. Appreciate it. I told y'all know when I'm doing these rapid fire Q&A, especially, we're an hour and 15 minutes in. See, that's usually my body clock saying, all right, it's about time to wrap. Oh no, this is what it was. I'm at Alex from YouTube. His question's on the screen. He was talking. See, there's plenty of people who walked into the dealership when I was there. They had their financial calculator. Hold on, let me put a lease deal up here. And what they would do is they would ask me for the rate, the residual, and they would convert the money factor to an interest rate. And they're like, okay, what's the selling price and all of that? That's not how you get your best offer, because you don't know what the rebates are. You don't know what I'm holding on to. What are the unadvertised incentives? You have no idea. So the only way to get the deals that you see on these screens, this is Kimberly, $91,000 Maserati, $944 a month. 90, look, just got it recently. This market. $91,000 Maserati, $944 a month. She didn't get this by converting the interest rate and what's the rent charge on the car. No, she got bids the way I teach. We are going to get at least 5 bids, and that's how we save this money. Look at Bonita, 2022, middle of the pandemic. Everybody else, and you might have a Telluride that you're leasing, paying $700-800 a month. Maybe you put money down. She's driving a Telluride $600 a month. She gave him $600 and drove off. $47,000 truck. Look, Charles Palisade. We talked about him earlier. $48,000 truck, $597 a month. You see what I'm saying? We don't worry about anything other, and they know their percentages. Look at Charles. Alex, look at Charles. They know their percentages. They divide the monthly payment of the offers. We get all our offers with first month's payment only out of pocket. We divide that monthly payment into the MSRP. It gives us a percentage, and that's how we compare our lease deals. That's how we know who saved us. You can see, he said, all my offers were between 1.23 and 1.6. None of that, nothing else matters. He don't care what the money factor is on that. He doesn't care what the residual value is. That does not matter. What matters is, how much am I paying for this car to drive it for 3 years? The lower the percentage, the better the deal. He don't care what rebates was included. Does not matter. We don't complicate this. And what I find is people who are going to shop like this, Alex, if you're not going to get bids, you're not going to get all the money. You could know all the financial calculations. You could know how to break a lease down longhand. And that's a super complex mathematical formula, but it's not hard for people who are into math. I was taught to do it. I know how to do it. I would never shop that way. You see? That's just what it is. You get bids. Stop negotiating, start getting bids. My book is the only book. I think I'm the creator of the system. So it's like Deshone, I never heard anybody talking about getting bids before. I created it. I created the 8-year rule. I'm not teaching. I'm fortunate, thank you, Lord, that everything that I teach outside of standard like math is stuff that I created. The 8-year rule, that's me sitting down and saying, okay, when's the cutoff when a person who purchases starts to win based on depreciation? 8 years. What's the cutoff when a person pays too much for a lease compared to someone who bought and now they're giving the car back? They paid too much, 1.5%. So the bidding system that we use, it's not something I learned, it's something that I created. That's why I say test it. That's what my entire book is. Car shopping for people that hate car shopping. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. I don't want you in a dealership for more than 30 minutes. If you use what I'm teaching you, you won't be. So, all right, y'all. We've been on here for 1 hour and 20 minutes today. Go grab your book if you want it. If not, I'll see you in the next broadcast. For those of you who have the book, if you just jumped on here like, Deshone, what book are you talking about? You can go watch the live broadcast. It's on YouTube. Once I wrap it up, you'll see it on YouTube. Go watch the live. You're going to see tons of questions that you would have asked. We answered those. And you can watch it on Facebook or you can watch it on YouTube. But my new digital book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. Everything that I teach in the broadcast is out of that book. It's out of my strategies. It's learning to make people bid for your business, not negotiate. You don't want to negotiate for deal. You can't negotiate for your best deal. That's like you walking in and needing a TV and walking into Walmart and going back and forth. You're better off just staying at home and just going on all the websites that have TVs. When you start seeing that all these dealers are ready to compete for your business and that 80% of them are going to be overpriced, it's going to shock you. Those same dealers you've been buying from for 2, 3, 4 decades, your family been buying from, they're not going to want to compete. Their prices are going to be higher. Sometimes they'll win the bid. But when you start making them bid, you're going to see that the relationship's going to change. That's why we don't have relationships with our car salesmen. You're not going to have relationships. If you've been used to going to barbecues with your car salesman and all that, I'm sorry to tell you, you're either going to keep overpaying. When you start making them bid, the relationship's going to change a bit. Now, if he's a 20%er, he won't mind competing. If you're gonna say, look, listen, I understand, give me a shot, let me compete, I'm gonna beat the rest of the offers. If he's that kind of guy, then that's great. But you're gonna find that a lot of people have been used to you giving them your business where they haven't even had to compete. All they had to do is negotiate you down. That's not competing. You get what I'm saying? Negotiating you down isn't, oh, you earn my business. No, they earned your business when they beat all the other people who will want to sell you a car. They beat all their prices. And that's what my book is based out of. So it'll be in your inbox in 2 minutes. You can download it in my TikTok bio, 75% off for 30 minutes. And you can get in my Instagram bio, or I'll post it one more time for you guys on Facebook and YouTube. You can click this link here that says Deshone's book, and you can start using this stuff. You have it forever right there. It'll be your tool belt. It's in your tool belt forever. Buying, leasing, luxury cars, doesn't matter. It's all in there step by step. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you to everybody that shared. Thank you to everybody who gave gifts. Thank you to everybody that invited somebody here. We can't do this without y'all. So